かつて人は砂時計で時間を計りました。正確でなくとも時間の不可逆性を表すには最適でした。そう、3次元に存在する我々は時を戻せません。後悔してもやり直しは効かない。僕ですか？後悔などありません。無数の分岐点があったとしても、あなたの元へ必ずたどり着きます。
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Xantos Vice here, and we are finally back with some more Punching Grey Raven. I hope you guys had a great day today. Yeah, sorry, I honestly wanted to stream potentially like an hour ago, but I honestly just woke up from a nap. But yeah, finally back on some more floating records once again. So yeah, where we last left off, we had, what was it? We had finally finished The Long Goodbye, and I mean, come on. Y'all gotta admit, it was definitely one of the best floating records we've had in a while. Don't get me wrong, a lot of the other ones were pretty good too, but I would definitely put it up there with no one's floating record, because god damn was the storytelling so good, and so many of the characters you felt for, all the experiences, what they fought for, it was just an amazing story. But now that we finally come full circle to that, we're gonna continue with the next floating record that we have, which is Veronica's, finally another Church of Machina members chapter. And it's gonna be interesting because again, it's like we haven't really had that many. Mainly they just only focus on the ones we knew, being Nanami and Hanying. So seeing her, especially being an ascendant that we dealt with recently in Hanying's second floating record, I'm gonna be interested to see how it's gonna play out. But before we actually do that, I actually want to test her out. Unfortunately, I do not have her character yet. I will actually be pulling for it, but in the meantime, I didn't have enough black cards saved because not only did I pull for Bianca Crip School, but I actually pulled until I could get her to S or double S3 because I really wanted the unswerving. What's it called? The unswerving tranquility. Which, after casting Shadow Strangle, Twilight Form, QD base damage and stuff, well, you know, they do a lot more with the double S3, so, yeah. That's why I didn't really have that much left. I only had it for 210 pulls. Unfortunately, I did not pull her yet, but I will continue doing so until the patch is over. But until then, we're just going to make do with actually testing her out in the character trial, but I don't know which one it is. So I'm going to have to, like, check. Okay, wrong one. Here we go. Echo's Solitude. Okay. See, I have no idea how she worked. All I know is that she is an amplifier for physical teams, basically supposed to be the new Elisa of the group. I kind of wonder how that's going to work, because, like I said, I know nothing about her. Damn, she even has a cool dynamic entrance. I'm jealous. I gotta say, they've really leveled up with the dynamic entrances since, like, the OG days of this game, you know? Because they really go for, like, a bit more theatrical with showing the background. Damn, that looks so... Oh, she does that same thing similar to what, like, Lucia does. Oh, and going for that kind of move kind of reminds me a bit of a... kind of like Lilith's thing after you cast her ultimate. Kind of. It's not completely similar. And then hold. Oh shit, that is insane. And a tornado? Damn, and the dragon to finish? Kind of reminds me a bit of like what Coralie's ult does with her new form. Cool. Alright, let me actually go to the interaction point. Damn. That seriously goes hard. That goes hard. Yeah, I definitely need her on my team. But yeah, I'm kind of wondering, like, how are we gonna go through her floating record? Is it gonna be a continuation of what happened last time, like her trying to hunt down the Emperor again? Because you'll remember from Han Ying's story, it was the Emperor who kind of set things in motion that made her go a bit out of control. The extent of even turning on the Church of Machina for a bit. I'm pressing it. Oh, don't tell me the button's stuck again. I swear to... Give me a second. Yeah, it was stuck. Wait, now I actually am gonna have to get a new... Don't tell me I actually had to get a new controller. I thought I was fine with this one. Here I was only just complaining about the USB-C port. Okay, now let's end the second combat practice. Oh, she has this whole area like Vera does. Oh my god, I actually get... Okay, while in midair, tapping the orbs, grants Sin Mark. Okay. Sin Mark can enhance Piercing Judgment cast by tapping yellow orb around it. After casting it, removes this mark. Oh, okay, so it's like a finisher of that. Alright, I have a bit more of an understanding as to how that works. Try this. Wait, what? Oh, okay, only does this. There we go. Alright. Come on.
命乞いに意味はない。この戦いは終わりだ。
But I am kind of glad it's also not like just her regular usual heavy armor like from before. That they actually did like change her up a bit. I would continue it with for the effect, but honestly, it's like I usually don't even focus on the effects too much. But anyway, let's actually go ahead and finally start this. But yeah, sorry, like I said, I did mean to do this yesterday, but unfortunately, last minute things came up and I wasn't able to. Okay, it's only 14 this time. Okay, that's not as bad as before. Because this was like oh no, this was 12 actually. Wait, what? Oh no, it was like 22. Damn. How much was begin anew again? Oh, that was 16. But I mean, that still kind of took a while, so I guess it just depends. But yeah, is it like we actually will be trying to continue the search for the Emperor again? Because even though we did defeat him in Kowloon, it did kind of show like he still wasn't done with even there, so I'd be interested if it was actually something different. Not because that whole thing wasn't interesting. Like, I still would like to see what the Emperor is still planning next, like Schultz. But at the same time, it's like I'd like to see a whole new situation. But it's like you kind of want to keep that for the main story, you know. So it's like at least continuing on ideas that they've kind of run with, but just creating a different scenario for that would be fine. Upper level competitions. Oh yeah, I did see the preview for this. It's like, what, she's taking part in a competition or something? Like in a Coliseum-esque place? Or arena. And as following it, the arena remained packed to the brim, with blinding lights and deafening music assaulting the senses of every spectator. Humans throughout the crowd buzzed with excitement, eagerly awaiting the day's first Mechanoid death match. Ah, great. We have underground death matches. But with Mechanoids and constructs? Of course. Oh, I see. Yeah, now I'm starting to understand why this is a Church of Machina floating record. Because again, it's like the dark side of humanity. Like, one of the reasons why it's like, it's hard for them to like work together like Nanami envisions. Countless eyes fixed on the arenas and Ember barely contained excitement, while desperate for the Mechanoid combat to begin. They create the sight of Mechanoid parts shattering and vital fluid pooling across the ground. Before entertainment is what they desire. Right, because before it's like, it would usually be like regular Coliseum fights, like man versus man in battle to the death and stuff, but considering that the battle against the Punishing is to ensure humanity survives, I guess this is like their next best thing. And I guess that from all the anger and hatred and despair fueled by the punishing and what it's done to them or the people they love, this would be their way of like letting all that out. Sorry about that. Pulsing electronic sounds blared from speakers throughout the arena, building the fierce combat that's about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Everett Arena. A new round of Mechanoid combat for this season is about to begin. As with previous seasons, winners advance to the next round, but the losers will unfortunately be eliminated. And this season's champion will receive our grand prize. And that, lo and behold, is freedom! The victorious Mechanoid Gladiator will be able to leave this place and start their life anew. And those who bet on this lucky Gladiator will also receive massive payouts from our prize pool. So sit back and enjoy this ultimate entertainment. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. The virtual host introduction concludes, and 10 spotlights jump to life simultaneously. The beams converging in the arena's center to illuminate the mechanism activating the floor. Massive octagonal iron cage slowly rises from below. This reminds me of those cage fights in Yakuza Kiwami, where Kiryu just had to beat the shit out of everyone who Manjima had lined up for him until he had to face Manjima himself. As people see clearly what's inside the cage, they erupt into wild cheers. Besides, a bizarre mechanical monstrosity reminiscent of a long-tailed mechanical spider affixes its limbs within the cage, joints grinding together with an ear-piercing screech. Seemingly sensing the human audience's cheer, the mechanical spider lets out a deafening roar from its vocal module, so impatiently urging its prey to enter the battlefield. With their echoing screech, an iron gate on one side of the arena thunderously slides open. Measured footsteps can be heard from the dim corridor, accompanied by the scrape of a weapon being dragged across the metal floor. Heard today's fight is gonna be a thriller. I wonder who's stepping into the ring this time. Last week's match wrecked like 10 fighters. They definitely need fresh meat today. This new season's been going for almost 3 months. Not a single fighter's lived long enough for a second round. They won a match, then immediately got their heads blown off by another gladiator in the next. So damn boring. I bet on a bunch of bruisers last season. Looked tough as hell, but not a single one of those bastards won. Are you still betting on this one today, then? What's the rush? Let's see what happens first. Ain't no way I'm gonna throw my money down the drain again. By the way, how much did you lose last time? Let's not even go there. Hey look, Gladiator's coming out. A masked female mechanoid, lance in hand, emerges from the shadowy corridor, steps into the harsh spotlight. I'm not a kid. Sorry, I know I keep complaining about it. I'll try to keep it to a minimum. Unlike the mechanical gladiators from the seasons before, with their basic coating and barely humanoid shapes, her form is almost indistinguishable from that of a human. A bizarre-looking horns protruding from her hair and a long tail trailing behind her draws all eyes. The display screen above the game flashes with a name the audience doesn't recognize. Veronica. The moment the giant spider sees its opponent enter the battlefield, its programmed hatred sends it into a frenzy. Razor-sharp limbs scratch the metal floor. The sound that sets everyone's teeth on edge. The mechanical spider rams frantically against its cage, its piercing shrieks echoing throughout every corner of the arena as it tries to shred the mechanoid gladiator outside. The moment Veronica enters the battlefield, however, waves of disapproving boos ripple through the stands. That's it? I thought we were promised a brutal combat with fierce mechanoid gladiators. What's so exciting about this scrawny lady? She ain't got nothing on that bruiser from the other day that crushed 10 dudes in a row. Word. They talked the talk, but ain't walking the walk. Damn it, I want my money back. What are you two whining about? This is where the real show begins. What's so exciting about watching those weird-looking mechanoids blow off one another's head day after day? Look at her. She's so human-like, and with that tail too. It's fascinating. Never seen a mechanoid like this before. Just imagine when that giant spider tears her apart and devours her bit by bit. Now that is entertainment. You won't see scenes like that in any movie. That's what made Mechanoid combat so damn thrilling. Damn, you put it that way, it does sound pretty exciting. When you explain it like that, it does sound pretty intense. You really know what you're talking about, kid. Picked up by these violent fantasies, the spectators leap to their feet and shout toward the center of the arena. Hey, what's your name, Veronica? Whatever. You're the metal freak with the tail. You better put up a good fight before you die, got it? Don't waste my ticket money. I want to see some real action. You hear me? Hearing this, Veronica slowly turns toward the spectator in the stands. She removes her mask, revealing a face almost indistinguishable from a human's. The mask crashes to the ground with a thunderous clang. Crimson eyes focus with icy rage. Her gaze threatening to pierce right through the disrespectful spectator. Here's her massive lance, step gleaming with lethal brilliance as she points it directly at the human in the stands. Shut your mouth. After sensing the hostility in her eyes, the spectator falls silent, like contemptuous glares aimed at her remain. God damn it. Did I just get cowed by a worthless toaster? Oh, that's exactly your type, ain't it? Aren't you usually into the feisty ones? What the hell are you talking about? It's just a piece of junk metal. I don't care what it looks like. You think I'd be into a machine? Cocky little brat. Can't wait to see what she looks like when that massive beast crushes her to pieces. For crying out loud, get us all some slack, will ya? Sit down. I'm trying to record this fight and you're blocking my shot. This better be worth the damn ticket. Malice and contempt for the human crowd wash over the arena like a tide, mingle with their insatiable hunger for violence and bloodshed. It's great to see Mechanoids slaughtered, mutilated, mercilessly shattered into fragments in the arena. In the twilight of the Golden Age, the spectacle unfolds under the spotlights night after night. Such is humanity's idea of entertainment. Only immersed in such brutality do these human spectators, their senses already dulled by ordinary diversions, find their eyes lighting up with that particular peculiar gleam. Wait, so this happened even during the Golden Age? Damn, that's sick. And by sick I mean the bad way, not the other way. Nor do these spectators, immersed in their violent entertainment, realize that their own twisted cheers of excitement are simultaneously being appreciated as a spectacle themselves. Unbeknownst to them, a distinguished guest sadly observes it all from a room above them, on an enormous one-way mirror. Numerous display screens spread out at perfect angles before this distinguished guest, streaming real-time footage from every corner of the arena in exquisite detail. Behind the human distinguished guest stands a massive mechanoid, motionless and silent, its mechanical shell, or metallic shell, reflecting the dim glow from the monitors. Its sensitive optical recognition system detects the slightest gesture from the human and responds immediately. Whoa, this one looks really cool. Master, the room temperature is currently 25 degrees Celsius with 55% relative humidity. I notice your attire today is rather light. Would you like me to adjust the temperature to a more comfortable setting? Human does not respond. Due to the intense combat in previous seasons, some gladiators will move out of camera range during matches. To enhance your viewing experience, I've installed additional cameras throughout the arena to ensure you can monitor every aspect of the match in real time. You've always handled these trivial matters well. You're a good butler indeed, but you should understand what I truly desire. I'm tired of watching these mechanical gladiators fighting mechanical beasts. I want something I've never seen. Master, this Veronica will show you something completely different. Based on my predictive analysis of her frame parameters, there's a high probability she could be the perfect candidate for your plan. Excellent. Let the match begin then. I can't wait. Yes, Master. Please enjoy the show. I'll compile the data from this match and provide you with a detailed analysis afterward. The massive mechanoid withdraws as its master's command, and Silence returns to the room. Master turns back to the display screens to capture every detail of the arena. At this moment, every screen focuses on Veronica, who's about to face her very first arena battle. Interesting. Surprise me, Veronica. Perfect cage. Hero 14. With the buzzer signaling the start of the match, the cage holding the mechanical giant spider unlocks. Its Heavy iron bars slam into the ground. The freed mechanical spire lets out a piercing shriek as it leaps forward and launches itself toward the mechanical gladiator. Meanwhile, massive screens above the arena flicker to life, capturing every angle of the battleground for countless spectators to see. Thunder's cheers erupt from the stands and sweep through every corner of the arena with stifling heat. The mechanical spider looms over the gladiator, dwarfing her tall frame beneath its massive bulk. Veronica grips her lance tightly as she readies herself, poised to thrust at her opponent at any moment. In the giant spider's programming, such defiance triggers its rage protocol, lashes its barbed tail like a whip at Veronica. But Veronica quickly sidesteps the attack, causing the spider's massive tail to crash into the ground and kick up a cloud of dust. Enraged by the failed attack, the mechanical spider whirls around and slashes its razor-sharp limbs as it lunges at Veronica once more. This unexpected turn drives the crowd into a frenzy, screams growing even more frantic. This pointless game of slaughter. What a waste of my time. Veronica's crimson eyes blaze with rage as she fearlessly stares down the mechanical spider towering over her. At that moment, she unleashes the energy stored within her frame and launches herself skyward with the lance pointed at the mechanical spider's core. As she soars above the giant spider, time ceases to stand still in the arena. All eyes are on her now. Die! She draws her lance and drives it down with deadly precision. Oh, here we go. Let's do this. Oh good, I actually got an entrance.
本試合にてベロニカに相対するは強大なブルクラッシャー。さあ彼女はどんな驚きを与えてくれるのか共に見届けましょう。
はっ消えろ。えい脆弱なゴミが。ふん戦うに値しない。消えろ。えいふんえいふん当たれ脆弱なゴミが。
ブルクラッシャーがベロニカに反撃をつけてますます戦闘は激しくなっています。さあ手に汗握る展開だ。とどめを刺すのはどちらだ。目が離せません。
ふんはっえいえい脆弱なゴミが消えろ。ふん戦うに値しない。
スリル満点だ。楽しい。やっちまえ。あの役立たずの敗者を串刺しにしろ。
機体に複数の損傷を検知。メンテナンス申請を自動提出。
Damn. Seriously, I do want to know, how did Veronica even end up like this? Like, is she trying to free someone or something? Because it's like, why would she actually participate in it rather than try to destroy? I'm actually kind of interested. Damn, she looks so badass like this. Well, well, if it is our new rising star. Damn, so I can't sprint yet. This sucks. Well, then again, I guess maybe she is supposed to be undercover, so that's why. Hey, that repair gear is in the general section. But alright, not too bad. I barely got hit in that last fight, so I did time my dodges well, but then again, that was just the first fight. We'll see the real deal when we advance further. Looks more like a garage than an actual maintenance room. Are you the new gladiator? The way you fought just now was really impressive. Strength means nothing here. All just tools for human amusement. Forget it. I'm rambling. Auto repair unit's right across from here. Go patch up your frame. Good luck. Okay, doesn't seem to be extra stuff to look at. Let's see what these people have to say. Who are you betting on next round? I'm putting 300,000 on Veronica to win. Nice, you've got guts. Nothing to see here. Move along. I don't know, I mean, you have one broken over there, so it must be something important. Lockless cage. In the shattered dreamscape, her consciousness drifts among floating shards of memory. Veronica finds herself adrift in endless darkness. No direction, no path, only a single blinding ray of light ahead that shines upon some massive shadowy form. She steps forward, the beam grows more intense, like as though it's beckoning her toward a destination only it knows. You've advanced to the next arena match, Veronica. Keep fighting. The ultimate prize for victory is your freedom from this place. The voice fades into darkness as she presses forward, hands clutched tight, steers herself for the next battle. She's determined to claim the freedom that should have been hers all along. To victory. See, that's the thing, it's like, is this happening like before she joined the Church of Machina, or is it after? That's what I'm kind of curious about. Because again, it's like, just because this is the newest floating record doesn't mean it's always like actually taking place then. It could be like someone recalling their past in the present. Footsteps echo across the arena's solid metal floor. In a harsh spotlight ahead, she finally sees the object clearly. A massive octagonal cage. Her opponent inside isn't some ferocious mechanical beast, but a mechanoid identical to herself. Her eyes shut tight, the mechanoid in the cage is fast asleep. The cage lid is open. Veronica in the cage snaps her eyes wide, fixing onto Veronica outside the stage. Gaze devoid of light and harboring only an abyss of perfect darkness. Veronica moves her lips to say something to her twin outside the cage, so it doesn't seem to reach Veronica. Then Veronica steps free from her prison. When she steps outside the cage, however, the restraint collar around her neck moves her violent electrical current. Under the relentless electrical assault, the doppelganger's body fractures and dissolves. Yet those lifeless eyes never waver, locked at her unyielding stare. You will die here. The lights extinguish, plunging everything back into a thick, clinging darkness. She feels her consciousness spiraling downward into an endless void of darkness. Yeah, kill it, tear it apart. We want blood, more blood. Awesome, so freaking awesome. Hell yeah, fight to the end. Don't get yourself scrapped too quickly. Ain't every day you get to see something this exciting. She opens her eyes. Crimson gaze piercing through the darkness. Shards of her chaotic consciousness dissolve instantly as her memory module completes its diagnosis. She extends her hand and stares at the vital fluid leaking between her fingers. Meanwhile, her vision begins to blur. Struggles to overclock her mechanical core, desperately trying to stabilize her optical systems. Data image of her dream self, disintegrating under the restraint collar's power, still floats within her consciousness module. Instinctively, she raises her hand to touch the unyielding restraint collar around her neck, thing that's bound her since the day this body was first activated. You think you can keep me chained like a dog? Damn it. Razor-sharp claws dig deep into the synthetic skin of her neck. She desperately tears at the collar. The collar instantly discharges a violent electrical current, sending agonizing surges to her consciousness module, forcing her to stop. Those bastards. I'm gonna crush every last one of them. Down here in the lower level of the arena, there are no rowdy spectators shouting, no mechanical beasts howling. In this cramped space, only the thick darkness envelops her. There's no octagonal cage like the one in the arena above. No fight to survive gladiatorial rules. This remains her prison all the same. Throughout the supposed recovery room for mechanoid gladiators, broken jagged parts lie strewn across the floor. The mingled stench of machine oil and rust permeates the air. If anything, this place looks more like a prison cell. In the darkness beyond, the access controls and surveillance systems monitoring the path to the arena never cease operating as they watch for the slightest movement in this area. The prison cell itself doesn't even need locks. The restraint collars around their necks eliminate any possibility of escape for the mechanoid gladiators. Along both sides of the corridor are identical rooms. Some contain mechanoid gladiators in sleep mode, waiting quietly for the next fight. Others stand empty. The former occupants have been torn to pieces in the arena floor. And soon enough, a fresh batch of mechanoid gladiators will fill these rooms again, their prison, while waiting for the next match. Their fate is determined entirely by victory or defeat in the arena. In the near-perfect silence of the darkness, a sound emerges from the distance. In the darkness, something solid scrapes against the metal floor, producing a sharp, persistent sound. Veronica's acute sensory modules detect an anomaly. Such sounds don't come from a machine or a human. It's another mechanoid that's getting closer. The sound intermittent isn't coming from ahead, but from under Veronica's feet. The broken mechanoid lies sprawled on the floor, having been reduced to half a shattered head, one mangled forelimb that spits out sparks with the last traces of power. Battle fluid pools from its broken body, leaving a long trail marking its desperate crawl. Apparently, having detected non-compliant behavior from its wearer, the restraint collar around its neck administers relentless electrical shocks as punishment. Under the barrage of shocks, the damaged mechanoid's movements grow more erratic. Its damaged voice module spitting out broken words between bursts of static. This mechanoid cannot continue functioning. Failed to unlock freedom ending. Target detected. Identifying model. Designation CTXV. Enhanced function model. Codename Veronica. Your frame's operational parameters. Structural integrity. Optimal. Recommendation. Attempt escape. Calculating success rate. 0.019%. Avoid forced decommissioning protocol. One final surge of electricity, the mechanoid succumbs to the overwhelming voltage. The fractured voice from its speech module falls silent completely. But fluid sleeping from the mechanoid's fractured body pulls into a dark mirror at Veronica's feet, looking at her contorted, enraged face. The shot caller that just executed the mechanoid gets twisted and crushed in her hands. At the same time, a shrill alarm rings from the terminal system. Enough. Hours earlier, while Veronica sank into that dark dreamscape, her many brethren were being systematically destroying the arena outside. Everett Arena a few hours ago. I was at pass since the crowds dispersed. The arena thundering with spectators just hours ago now stands eerily empty, the spotlight still shining upon its vast central stage. Under the harsh lights, a row of mechanical gladiators stand shoulder to shoulder in silence like lifeless automata. Each of their frames, damaged to varying degrees, bears the scars of combat. Overseer looms the damaged gladiators, its massive steel frame casting shadows across them. At a brief scan, its processing code confirms their identity codes. It then establishes contact through its terminal and awaits instructions from its master on the other end. The execution protocol is ready, Master, awaiting your termination order. These eyesores are just scrap now. Dispose of them immediately. Worthless, filthy scrap. The whole lot belongs in the trash heap. Yes, Master. We are requesting a postponement of the terminal protocol. Frames are still capable of gladiatorial performances. We request more matches. We can still fight. Request denied. Initiating termination protocol. So that's what the spectators were talking about when they had all those other gladiators before, and how they didn't see them. At Overseer's command, the collars around the mechanoids' necks jump to life and send a surge of high voltage electricity through their metal frames. The engine cores of all the mechanoids instantly failed with the electric shock. Heavy frames collapse into the ground like scrap metal. As Overseer sends commands to the system's terminal, ominous sounds echo through the empty arena. With it, the overhead scaffolding, holding numerous screens, now reveals a massive hydraulic press descending from above. The hydraulic system drives the massive press downward with relentless force. Mechanoid's metal frames are reminiscent of cardboard when crushed and mangled by a massive press. It descends with relentless precision, not stopping until it's flushed against the floor, silencing the mechanoids forever. Having executed the mechanical gladiators, the hydraulic press slowly ascends back to its original position. Behind only a floor of mechanoid remains crushed beyond recognition. Disposal complete, Master. Excellent. You were right. I really did see something I had never seen in the match today. That Veronica does deserve a grander stage. With it, Master abruptly cuts off communication with Overseer. There is, however, a small anomaly that Overseer's visual sensors fail to notice. That is, among the debris on the floor, where the mechanoids have been reduced to a head with broken limbs, slowly dragging itself away. With Overseer gone, silence proclaims the arena. The only sounds that can be heard now come from a few cleaning robots pre-programmed to complete their cleaning task. Ah, okay, I see. So that's where that one robot came from. Cleaning robots dismantle the structures that aren't completely broken down yet, collect component fragments, and deposit them into the waste bins on their backs. They follow their programmed routines with practiced efficiency, meticulously performing their designated job. To their visual processors, the dismembered remains of their kin are nothing more than another assignment to be processed. Amid this mechanical carnage that resembles a battlefield, a petite human girl gracefully weaves her way through the metal remains. Oh, excuse me. Can you step aside for a few moments, please? Wait, don't dispose of that. I need that component. Wearing the utility jacket, navigates through the mechanical debris in between the working cleaning robots as she carefully avoids stepping on the components scattered at her feet. She crouches down every few steps to examine the damaged components, picks up parts that are intact and gently dusts them off. Having picked up what she needs, she cups them in her palms and bows her head in silent contemplation, gestures somewhere between her prayer and remembrance, before carefully storing them in the toolbox she carries on her back. She repeats this ritual over and over, engaged in a private ceremony whose meaning only she seems to understand. It's such a shame. Must have been painful what you just went through now. But it's okay now. It's all over. I'll remember all of you. Your designations, your maintenance records. I committed every detail to memory. The small, oddly shaped robot has been following her all this time. The mechanical joints creaking and squeaking with every movement. The robot apparently lacks a voice module, forcing it to communicate with its human master solely through movements and gestures. That's right, Hammer. Exactly like that. Looking for parts with frame designation on them. Great job. I couldn't have done this without you. It's such a big help. You get that excited over a little praise? Alright then. I'll work extra hard and try to get you a voice module one of these days. The girl smiles as she speaks to Hammer the robot, treating it as if it were her closest friend. Fatigued, she stands amid the jagged heaps of mechanical debris, reminiscent of a delicate flower quietly blooming among metal ruins. Peaceful moments, however, don't last long. Your alarms suddenly blare throughout the arena, flooding every corner in an anxiety-inducing red glow. Meanwhile, the surveillance system mounted above the arena lets out a cold mechanical synthesized voice. What's happening? No way. Did the surveillance system mistake the parts I just collected for an escaped mechanoid? Girl glances nervously all around her while clutching the toolbox stuffed with mechanoid parts against her body. Meanwhile, from the perimeter of the arena, the heavy metallic thud of approaching footsteps echoes in the distance. We're toast! That overseer's coming! Brain, calm down. Think of something. Gotta come up with something quickly. By being nervous, the girl forces herself to stay focused and think clearly. Suddenly her eyes light up. I know what we need to do. Hammer, quick! Shut down the main power breaker. Minutes later, the arena's doors slide open with a thunderous sound. While her overseer steps inside, the entire arena plunges into complete darkness. Perfect. The power's cut. Now's my chance. A few seconds it takes Overseer's visual systems to switch from standard to night vision mode. The petite human girl slips past its massive frame and vanishes into the darkness without a trace. At the same time, Veronica crushes the collar to trigger the system alarm to pieces. The alarms for a sign as the arena returns to normal operation. When Overseer scans the entire area again with night vision, it detects nothing out of the ordinary. Only mechanical debris scattered across the floor and a few cleaning robots performing their assigned missions. Performing sensitivity self-test. After performing another system scan with no anomalies detected, Overseer exits the area, considering it clear. Lower level staff quarters. Girl races down the corridor, her chestnut braids bobbing up and down behind her as Hammer keeps pace with rapid steps. Yes, we made it. We're safe. Behind the corner, the girl slams straight into a tall man, while Hammer, unable to stop in time, rams itself straight into the back of her knees. Girl and Hammer collapses, her toolbox flies open, sending parts across the floor with a clang that seems to echo forever. That hurts. Hey, Uncle Rocco. Why'd you have to stand right there? Sarah, you little troublemaker. About to no good again, huh? Out collecting your junk again, weren't you? Always tinkering with this nonsense. How many times have I told you? You never listen. Be careful, or that hard-headed maniac overseer will catch you, and you'll really be in trouble. You think you're some official consortium employee or something? Overseer leaves those people alone because they have privileges. But we don't. Here, you're nothing but a... Okay. Do I really seem like the careless type to you? Besides, these things aren't junk. They're very, very important to me. These lectures are seriously getting annoying. They hurt my ears. Uncle, could you please stop treating me like a kid? Fine, you're not a kid. Tell me, just how old are you? Alright, I'll do whatever you say. I won't do it anymore. Happy now? Irritated, Sarah crouches down and starts gathering the scattered parts from the ground, deliberately facing away from the stubbly-faced middle-aged man. Since the uncomfortable atmosphere, Hammer, lacking a voice module, clumsily attempts to ease the awkwardness between the two. Quietly watches the girl who stubbornly refuses to meet his gaze. Her earlier sprint has left her bangs stuck together with sweat in her cheeks red. He wants to say something, but in the end remains silent. Instead, he quietly crouches down next to her and collects the scattered parts from the ground one by one. These parts aren't ordinary gear and bolts. Many are identification plates used to inscribe frame serial numbers. The codes and frame designations are still clearly visible. As he places a handful of parts onto Sarah's toolbox, the girl, having been quiet all this time, finally looks up at him. I'm sorry, Uncle Rocco. I can't stand seeing those mechanical gladiators be treated like this. They're destroyed just because they lost their fights. Every single one of them I repaired and upgraded them myself. I just thought that maybe this way I could at least remember them, you know?
You're just like your father. Nothing keeps you guys from doing what you want to do once you made up your mind. Your old man could see you now, as a little girl all grown up. I'd bet he'd be proud. Anyway, no matter what happens, I'll always look after you. That's what your father asked me to do before he passed.
Yeah, right. If he hadn't practically lived at the casino, he wouldn't have racked up mountains of debt to get those predatory loans from every consortium. Mom wouldn't have left us either. And he wouldn't have ended up working off his debt at the consortium's slave. I wouldn't have spent my childhood being shuffled between relatives and neighbors, going hungry some nights, or getting knocked around every so often.
Careful what you say. They're listening. As Uncle Rocco quietly shushes her, he points up at the surveillance camera overhead. Her responds with a disgruntled pout.
Oh, fine. According to the Noble Everett Consortium's definition, it's a voluntary long-term personal labor compensation debt resolution program. Sounds pretty, but it's essentially working for them as a slave, right? And he wouldn't have been dragged here by the consortium after he ran away from everything, forced to continue his glorious 20-year program because he didn't have the guts to face any of this himself. He really did escape, didn't he? Escape this whole world, never to return. I barely even remember his face anymore. It's weird, though. No matter how many times I tell myself this is all his fault, I still can't bring myself to completely hate him. I keep remembering riding on his shoulders while Mom stood nearby laughing when I was little. But how did everything change? Dad got hooked on gambling, fell into debt with loan sharks, and Mom just walked out. Even said she wouldn't let me become her burden. I mean, they're just so irresponsible. My bad. I accidentally bit on my tongue a bit when I said that. Why am I rambling like this? Bet I'm just tired. As Sarah maintains a defiant tone, she buries her face into her knees to wipe away the tear tracks on her cheeks. Her slightly trembling shoulders, however, betray her true emotional state. Seeing the usually stubborn girl reveal such a vulnerable side, Uncle Rocco finds himself at a loss for comforting words. The air between them grows heavy with unspoken tension. Even the little robot, usually adept at supporting its master, fails to process the atmosphere between the two humans. He simply stands there silently, as if experiencing a momentary system freeze. The sounds are shattered when Uncle Rocco suddenly erupts into violent coughing. His fit intensifies with each hack, his face gradually turning a sickly pale blue. Uncle Rocco, are you alright? Sarah washes over to pat him on the back.
Rocco, however, shakes his head while pointing at the pouch he carries around his waist, probably trying to ask Sarah to take out what's inside.
Fumbling hand, she rummages through his oil-stained pouch and finally locates a medicine bottle buried among all sorts of repair tools. She can barely make out what it says in the heavily worn label on the bottle. But Rocco struggles to steady his cough-induced trembling hands while carefully tipping out several pills. He shoves all the pills into his mouth at once and swallows them down. After a long moment, he starts looking better. Uncle Rocco, is your illness getting worse? Why are you taking so many pills now?
I'm fine. Just an old condition. I'm used to it by now.
This isn't right, Uncle Rocco. You can't just keep going on painkillers alone. You gotta do something about it.
Don't worry. I got it figured out. It's just 3 more years. Think I can still hang in there. Once I paid off these last 3 years of work hours, I'm just gonna get out of here. Damn, these work hours are so hard to earn. Make so little but spend so much. I'd love to trade for some cigarettes and booze, but can't exactly go without these painkillers. Who knows how many more years I'll have to slave away just to pay off these 3 years of work hours.
Uncle Rocco.
When I count it up, I've been working here for over a decade now. Your father used to be my assistant, and now it's your turn.
Voluntary long-term debt resolution program. Such a pretty name for what's basically prison. Those mechanical gladiators are locked up in here. It's our mechanics like us who fix those metal brutes. We're all human doing the same work in the same place. But the difference between us and those consortium employees, it's like heaven and earth. They clock in and out on schedule, get vacation, salaries, overtime pay, insurance. I used to have all that when I was younger, and then it was all gone. It's my own fault, though. I was always chasing big money, trying to give my family a better life, but I ended up drowning in loan shark debt. Here I am, my wife and kids gone. I don't blame them for leaving, though. I do wonder how they're doing now. Who am I kidding? Pretty damn sure they're doing a whole lot better now without me dragging them down. Sarah, usually quick-witted, finds herself at a loss for words. Such a small robot in her arms, sorrowful expression spreading across her face. It's all my fault. You see, I'm not exactly good with words. All I do is whine about my problems, and now I kinda made you feel bad. If there ever comes a day when suddenly the surveillance system overheard blares with a harsh electronic tone, cutting the conversation short. Inappropriate speech detected. System has logged your first violation today. Sarah, junior mechanic. Violations this quarter, 17. Penalty, 120 work hours deducted. Rocco, mid-level mechanic. Violations this quarter, 3. Penalty, 25 work hours deducted. Wait, what did they do? Oh, probably talking about the compensation thing, right? Yeah, the voluntary long-term debt resolution program. You have both violated the Everett Consortium Employee Code of Conduct, Article 5. Employees are prohibited from holding negative discussions regarding the consortium. I mean, they're only doing it within themselves, right? It's different from like if they were talking about it to other people. Unless they just have a specific system doing that work of searching for whatever that word said instead of people. You gotta be kidding me. How can you just talk our hours like that? What exactly did we say wrong? Sarah, junior mechanic. Violations this quarter, 18. Penalty, 150 work hours deducted. You have both violated the Everett Consortium Employee Code of Conduct, Article 14. Questioning, contradicting, and threatening the surveillance system in any form is prohibited. Damn it, you piece of... Rocker, however, shakes his head slightly, apparently trying to tell Sarah to just be quiet. At the verge of explosion, Sarah eventually manages to bite her lip and swallow whatever she was about to say. The omnipresent surveillance system might seem dormant most days, but the highly sensitive semantic recognition module in each terminal works tirelessly, never missing a beat. The moment it catches any potential prohibited words in conversation, the system responds with its favorite punishment, deduction of work hours. Ah, I see. So that's why he was saying that. Because it's like, even if they make up those hours back by creating the new gladiators, it just takes it all back. Or any further work to meet the hours needed to finish their contract. More and more work piles up without a single credit in payment, or supposedly to repay their enormous debt, some so vast it defies imagination. And the only way to obtain food and basic supplies needed for survival? Change the work hours they struggled so hard to accumulate. Wow, even that? Terminal's AI logarithms have calculated their every move with terrifying precision, producing them to nothing more than tiny cogs in the vast machinery of the arena. Take it easy and get some rest. We have our early start tomorrow. I see the terminal has already sent out next week's work orders. Got a bunch of new mechanoids coming in. Extended the season again. Work won't be easy. You know you can always count on my help if you ever need it. You'll be handling sections A through F tomorrow. I'll take care of the rest. Heading back now. You need anything, just speak to your terminal. I never put mine on silent. Yeah, see you tomorrow, Uncle Rocco. She returns to her room. Cramped, windowless cell, barely a few square meters in size. Besides her basic necessities, every inch of the room is crammed with repair tools and equipment. The exhaust fan drones with a constant hum. Yet even its tireless efforts can't dispel the lingering scent of machine oil that permeates the air. Good night, Hammer. Get some rest. You gotta work first thing tomorrow. At her quick wash-up, Sarah turns off the lights and lies down in the dark room. only in this darkness where she can no longer see the cramped, filthy space around her, and her thoughts finally take wing like a bird in flight. In her mind, she's no longer an oil-stained mechanic without freedom. She can go anywhere her heart desires. Her fingers having found a pendant she wears around her neck, carefully traced along the edges with the wings on it. Her parents got her this pendant as a gift before she was born. In her boundless realm of fantasy, these wings could grow from her shoulders. She would spread them wide and fly away from this prison, this cage there for so long. Her thoughts take wing, soaring gracefully beyond this room, past the arena's domed ceiling, toward a vast starry expanse she hasn't seen him in years, away from this mechanical arena that has imprisoned her for far too long. Damn, that was a lengthy second part. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely seeing how this will still take a while. God damn. Give me a second, I'm gonna have some more gator. Damn, I only been through 2 parts of this and it's almost been an hour. Hopefully I can at least get to halfway by the end of tonight. Alright. Let's see. Lower level gladiator maintenance area. Everett Arena. Sarah stands at the security entrance of the mechanical gladiator maintenance area. Toolbox in hand, with Hammer quietly following her. 120 minutes to complete repairs and module upgrades on 7 mechanoids. Hammer, we've got quite the challenge ahead of us today. She pulls out a terminal, brings up the information sheet, and quickly scrolls through the details. Let me see. Standard models, routine maintenance, 3 units. Arc, winch, and chain. Modified models, upgrade installations, 2 units. No repair jobs too rough for Sarah the Capable. Let's go, Hammer. Another day of getting things done right and fast. Hey, Uncle Rocco, you hearing this? I'm about to get started over here. Better keep up. Is that so? I'm already working on my first one. Maybe you should have sprinted to your station instead of chatting. Shut up. Sarah ends the terminal call with a huff, double checks her schedule, takes a deep breath, pulls out her ID card to place it against the security scanner. Identity verified. Employee 3476, Sarah, G Mechanic. Access granted to lower mechanical section A. Security system lets out a mechanical beep confirming its verification. Every metal door is at a powerful dull rusty groan. The moment Sarah sees the mechanical gladiators, her face lights up with a radiant smile, as if she's reunited with old friends. Good morning, my brave mechanical gladiator heroes. Today's another day for Sarah the Mechanic to give your frame some much needed TLC. Command received. Awaiting maintenance. The mechanoids awaiting maintenance respond only with identical emotionless tones, making Sarah scratch her head in disappointment. Nothing more than basic interaction, huh? But bet this is an outdated batch. After a brief moment of disappointment, Sarah breaks into a smile again as she follows the instructions on her terminal and enters the first mechanical gladiator's chamber. Mechanic authority confirmed. Switching this frame to maintenance mode. Let me see. Transmission system shows some wear, and the power core's energy conversion rate is down to just 40%. But the biggest issue here seems to be your visual recognition module. Seems like the entire component needs a complete upgrade. But my work authorization only covers routine maintenance. I don't exactly have that much time to spend. Well, this is difficult. Let's see. How about I give your mobility recognition components an upgrade? That should boost your chances in the arena. Copy that. Modification plan confirmed. Although, there's not much I can really do for you all. Either way, give it your all in the arena and fight for that championship. Able to process command. I should have content and communication I recognize. That's alright. Okay then. Gotta disconnect your energy core now. That should do it. Hammer, hand me the wrench number 7 from the toolbox. Sarah just over her intense repair work, fully immersed in the maze of complex mechanical components and circuitry, completely oblivious to her surroundings. She quickly completes the maintenance of the unit and jogs over to the next waiting one, ready to repeat the entire process again. All the while, Hammer, being her most reliable assistant, responds quickly to Sarah's every command. The coordination is flawless. Whenever Sarah verbally asks Hammer to do something, or with gestures, Hammer, always ready to help, never fails to respond with perfect accuracy. In sharp contrast to the bubbly young woman she usually is, Sarah now takes on the laser-focused demeanor of a professional mechanical engineer. Time passes unnoticed as fine beads of sweat form on her forehead from concentration, her mind completely unaware of the hours slipping silently by. Phew, it sure ain't easy. Let me see where I am. I think there's still one to do. Wait, I got less than 10 minutes left? She screams after a glance at her terminal. At the same moment, the surveillance system overhead issues a warning alert. Sarah, geomechanic. Repair work status, at risk. Time remaining, 10 minutes. Work remaining, CTXV Enhanced Function Module, codename Veronica. Quantity 1. Please complete your assignment within the located time frame. Failure to do so will result in the forfeiture of all work hours logged in. What? All? Seriously? That's crazy. And she only has 10 minutes. Let's go, Hammer. We gotta get the last one fixed. We only got 9 minutes and 52 seconds left. Sarah sprints down the dimly lit corridor, causing the items in her tool bag to clatter chaotically with each desperate stride. Hammer struggles to keep pace with her footsteps, nearly toppling over several times while navigating the sharp corners. The girl stumbles to a halt when she arrives at the room she meant to come to. Breath still coming in gasp when she finds herself staring into a pair of crimson mechanoid eyes. The tall figure's face is utterly devoid of expression, his cold eyes fixed on Sarah. Faced by Veronica's demeanor, however, Sarah breaks into a smile. Wow, so you're Veronica. You look so human-like one of those heroines who knows how to fight. You can call me Sarah. I'm a mechanic here. Can we be friends? Sorry, didn't mean to be rude or anything. We can totally take it slow here. I got a little overexcited just now because I never seen a mechanoid like you. The girl's eyes sparkle with excitement as she extends her hand to Veronica, ready to greet her as though she were a human. But a second after, the silent mechanoid extends his hand in response. Instead of returning to human's friendly gesture, it violently seizes her by the throat. Veronica's cold mechanical hand tightens around Sarah's neck, constricting her windpipe. Sarah struggles to breathe, unable to get a single word out. She has no idea what triggered the mechanoid's rage, but the current situation makes one thing clear. Size resistance would be enough for that hand to snap her neck. You said you're a mechanic. Sarah manages only the faintest nod. Even this tiny movement will be recognized as confirmation. Veronica hurls a collar twisted beyond recognition to the ground in fury. The same device that terminated that broken nameless mechanoid the day before. Remove this damn thing from my neck. The mechanical hand around Sarah's throat loosens slightly. Finally able to draw breath, Sarah breaks into a fit of desperate coughing. She realizes there's a chance to explain. It can't be taken off. This device is connected to the terminal system. Needs him to remove it will instantly trigger an alarm. If I do that, Overseer would take you to that place where mechanoids are executed. The mechanoid merely fixes her with an icy stare, clearly unsatisfied with her answer. The hand around Sarah's throat tightens again, a silent warning. She desperately tries to pry the mechanical hand from her throat, but her efforts are futile. In the midst of their standoff, Sarah's personal terminal begins to ring in her pocket. Its monotonous tone echoes throughout the room, so she can't answer. Flies to the floor and connects with an accidental tap. On the other end comes an impatient human voice. Hey Sarah, you there? You finished fixing your metal brutes yet? I got stuck with nothing but heaps of junk on my end. Such a pain in the ass. See no point in fixing them at all, given how beat up they are. Might as well just scrap the whole lot. Why aren't you answering? Need a hand over there? Well, I bet you're just too busy there. I got 2 more sections to go, so I can't come over anytime soon. Catch you later. The call ends with a sharp click. Heaps of junk, huh? That's how you people always see us. Failed mechanoids, crushed like worthless trash without a second thought. Sarah struggles desperately, fighting for even a gasp of air as suffocation starts setting in. It's completely futile. There's no need to explain. You can only blame yourself for failing to earn yourself a chance to survive. Mechanical hand clamped around Sarah's throat, tightens his grip mercilessly, squeezing the air from her lungs with methodical precision. The other mechanoid gladiators remain motionless in standby mode. Responding to human distress calls isn't part of programming in their processing modules. The surveillance system remains unresponsive as well. Evidently, it's designed to monitor employee productivity, not their safety. Oxygen deprivation blurs Sarah's consciousness. Just as darkness begins to claim her, a mechanical wiring sound comes from behind. They must come to her rescue. The tiny robot is no match for Veronica. So it rams into her with everything it's got, desperately trying to make her let go of its master. With cold indifference, Veronica stands at a hammer. Spotting nothing more than a patchwork of all sorts of components, is now damaged from ramming. Hammer's effort, however, seems to prove effective. Veronica's grip loosens slightly. Sarah catches her breath. She doesn't cry for help. Instead, she calls out desperately. Hammer, stop that already. Pathetic. You really think this weapon of yours can put a dent in me? Veronica's powerful tail lashes out, ready to crush the little robot whelps to strike. In desperation, Sarah twists her still trapped body and swings her arm to intercept Veronica's tail. The impact and grunt are almost heard at the same time. Sarah's eyes glaze over as her arm falls limp, not streaming from the wound. Don't you dare hurt my friend. As he had these defiant words, Sarah appears oblivious to what's happening to herself and the greater danger that might ensue from these words. Friend? Veronica's gaze turns cold as she looks at the small robot still futilely charging at her. Back to Sarah. Sarah stood frozen in terror moments ago, now stays back at Veronica without a trace of fear. Spark of courage in the girl's emerald eyes burn like an inextinguishable flame. How pathetically foolish. Veronica lets out a cold snort and relaxes her combat stance. Folds her arms across her chest and sizes Sarah up with icy indifference. Purple bruises around her slender neck and blood streaming from her injured arm, Sarah gasps for air and relief. Knowing her own injuries, she rushes immediately to Hammer's side to check if the little robot has sustained any damage from repeatedly ramming itself into Veronica. Are you okay, Hammer? Don't worry, these are just minor scratches. I'll patch you right up when we get home. Think this little show you're putting on is going to change how I see you people? You're no different from those humans in the stands. Machines are nothing but tools to you people. We mechanoids fight desperately in the arena, struggling to be the last one standing, only to advance to the next round and face the same brutal cycle all over again. And you mechanics, you only repair us mechanoids after each match so we can keep those humans entertained. You all crave the thrill of watching us being torn apart in the arena. It's the only spectacle that satisfies your bloodlust. That's enough! Stop it, Hammer. Little robot still maintains a hostile attitude toward Veronica, its indicator light flashing frantically while Sarah desperately tries to calm it down. Sarah and Veronica face each other in tense silence, yet between them awkwardly still, until a notification from the monitoring system shatters the brief quiet. Sarah, junior mechanic, repair work status incomplete. Work remaining, CTXV enhanced function model, codename Veronica, quantity 1. There. I was only kidding. So need to keep earning points to get you a voice module someday. Huh? Where's my terminal? Turns around to find her terminal now only inches from her face, and smacking into her. Because Veronica shoved her terminal so ringing into Sarah's face. She freezes in confusion, but soon realizes that Veronica's about to smash her terminal into her skull. She's simply waiting for Sarah to take it. Thanks. Sarah reaches out to take her terminal from Veronica. Blood around her wound hasn't yet completely dried. It starts trickling from her wound again when her terminal comes into contact with it. Sarah hisses in pain and quickly clutches her hand. Sarah and Veronica face each other in silence, the air between them growing strangely still and uncomfortable. The terminal, now in Sarah's hand, continues to vibrate. Quickly hits the answer button and Uncle Rocco's panicked voice erupts. Hello? Hello? Sarah? What the hell are you doing? What took you so long to answer? What's going on with you? Why is Overseer heading your way? Actually, the big guy's already on its way.
What? You can't be serious.
So already overhears Overseer's heavy footsteps coming from the far end of the corridor before she can even disconnect the call. So quickly slips out of Veronica's room and dashes to the corridor. She stands at rigid attention. Patrol standing straight to receive a scolding from Overseer, something she's mastered through plenty of practice. Overseer now standing right in front of Sarah, its frame towering over her. She has difficulty making out its face, even if it cranes her neck. Its very presence radiates an overwhelming sense of authority that's impossible to ignore. Too afraid to look up, Sarah quietly waits for Overseer to scan her face, analyze her every micro-expression. She struggles to keep her face neutral and harmless looking, knowing the machine is searching for any sign of defiance. The facial scan complete, Overseer in a cold and emotionless tone starts speaking. Mechanic Sarah, explain the reason for your tardiness.
I'm sorry, I was too slow. I promise it won't happen again.
Your current response does not align with your behavior thus far. According to your records of your 54 previous tardiness infractions, you denied responsibility 28 times and displayed inappropriate behavior toward the surveillance system 17 times. Final verification. Are there any other unreported incidents? Be advised that withholding information will result in the forfeiture of all work hours for this month.
Nothing at all. I swear. I promise.
She tries to make her voice sound utterly sincere, especially a perfect blend of innocence and conviction. She stands perfectly straight while keeping her injured hand behind her back. Overseer's micro-expression and voice pattern analysis detects no anomalies in Sarah's behavior. It matches the physiological indicators of deception. After finally completing his protocol-mandated verification process, Overseer departs for the area. With Overseer completely gone now, Sarah exhales with profound relief, and quickly slips back into the room where Veronica's waiting.
I'm here to work, duh. Stop giving me that look. They've already docked my pay for the day anyway, so what does it matter now? Your frame's taking some serious damage and needs some fixing if you want to win your next match.
But that's the weird thing, is like, if there are no other mechanoids like Veronica here, where did Veronica even come from, and how'd she even end up in the arena? That's why I'm like, is this actually like the present? Because like, I can't imagine the current Veronica would end up in this situation. But if it's her in the past, it's like, it could explain some things, but it's like, why are we telling this now? But then again, I guess she was only introduced back when we had Han Ying's second floating record, so not like they could have done it earlier. Sarah twirls the small wrench in her hand with a hand of swagger, seemingly trying to show off her expertise. Keep your filthy hands off my frame. Veronica coldly tosses a somewhat dirty piece of cloth towards Sarah and turns away without another glance. Silence occupies the room once more. It doesn't last long before Veronica speaks again. Maybe next time. Okay. This, Sarah figures, is a sign that Veronica has softened. Having completed all her tasks for the day, Sarah hums a tune as she's walking briskly back to the staff quarters. Hey, I'm okay. Why are you so upset? Why are you sulking again? Told you I'm okay. Things aren't what you think they are. Oh, god damn it. I was like, why is my thing moving to the right when I didn't even move it? See? Veronica didn't actually mean to hurt me. So, be nice to her when you see her again. Alright? Caged wish. When you want to fly away from here, come find me. Upper level competition zone. It's halfway into the season, yet the arena boys with more energy than ever tonight. All eyes eagerly awaiting her performance. The crowd chants Veronica in rhythmic waves. Watching in awe as the lance-wielding mechanoid with her trailing tail emerges from the tunnel and strides into the arena. At the center of the arena remains empty. No octagonal cage or mechanical beast rises from the floor as usual. Instead, the iron gate on the opposite side of the arena thunders open. An armed mechanoid emerges from the darkness and steps into the harsh spotlight of the arena. It's not one of the bizarre mechanical beasts, but a humanoid mechanoid just like Veronica. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's matchup is Veronica versus Winch. Prepare yourselves for a heart-pounding battle. Oh, Winch is one of the ones that Sarah was talking about. Well, why am I not surprised at all? Mechanoid approaches Veronica upon those steps. Its visual mantra scanning for what its programming designates as a combat opponent. Commencing winning probability analysis. Combat target CTXV. Enhanced function model codenamed Veronica. Winning probability against Veronica 0.0032%. Winch assumes a combat stance, and brandishes its weapons and charges at Veronica. Its cramped iron cage serves as a stage for the final performance. The victor cheers while the loser faces only judgment and destruction. Winch's behavioral components and frame sensitivity are severely outdated, far inferior even to the mechanical beast Veronica's defeated before. So he follows his programmed attack mode and launches one predictable assault after another. Veronica knows that she could reduce this fragile mechanoid to scrap metal with just one counterattack. Her opponent simply stands no chance against her. She can't bring herself to destroy her own kind, even though it's her only path to survival and advancement in the arena. Don't do this. I'm not going to fight you. Achieve victory, advance in tournament, win freedom. Her opponent, however, simply continues its programmed pattern of attack, showing no reaction whatsoever to Veronica's words. Can't you see? You have no chance of winning. The mechanoid steps closer and delivers a swing that barely grazes Veronica. Do you have any idea what you're doing?
keep this up and I'll have no choice but to destroy you. These humans just want to watch us tear each other apart for their amusement. Facing a fellow mechanoid trapped in a broken logic loop, Veronica can no longer hold back. The lance traces a gleaming arc through the air before crashing into the ground with tremendous force. There's no desire to destroy her own kind. Enough! Drop your weapon now! Combat analysis. Veronica's lost offensive weapon. Winning probability against Veronica, 0.089%. Which without a moment's hesitation launches another powerful strike at Veronica. Veronica's now up against a wall with nowhere left to hide. Leaving her with no choice but to absorb the full force of the incoming blow for her body. When a harsh screech of metal tearing through metal fades away, only the soft patter of vital fluid dripping from the floor remains. A diagonal gash runs out from Veronica's chest to her abdomen, exposing her internal components as vital fluid trickles down her frame and pools on the floor. Combat analysis. Veronica's frame damaged. Winning probability against Veronica, 0.127%. Continue attack. Increase power output. Achieve victory. Advance in tournament. Win freedom. Enough! Stop this right now. You shouldn't be doing this. You should be working together to fight those humans out there. Veronica's words are met with nothing but another attack from Winch, coming at her with everything it has, channels all its momentum into the strike. With it, Winch's body lets out a harsh screech of grinding, twisting metal. Winch falters and freezes. A few violent tremors later, however, it resumes its high-speed assault. Winch's attacks misses its mark, its weapon slamming into the metal cage instead. As far as its massive blade becomes wedged in between the bars. Momentum built up during its charge makes it impossible for the bulky mechanoid to control its movements. It continues hurtling forward, without slowing even slightly. Even to stop its momentum, Winch impales itself with its own weapon. Metal fluid catches from the huge wound in its frame. Catastrophic damage to its frame has thrown Winch's speech protocols into complete disarray, causing it to repeat these words again and again. Winch screeches one step at a time, so forcefully pulls itself out a weapon it has impaled itself with. Kill, Veronica, victory, freedom. Which maintains its attack protocol as it turns its severely damaged body towards Veronica and raises its weapon once more. This has to stop. Winch's body has entered an overload state due to its corrupting logic circuits. Its eyes flash with frenzied red light, and each attack comes with a piercing screech of metal as its body contorts unnaturally. With no other choice, Veronica tightens a grip on her lance once more. With a powerful swing of her lance, the octagonal cage shatters with a thunderous crash. Shockwave blasts the frenzied mechanoid backward and sends it crashing heavily to the ground. The bones between its head and body have shattered, leaving only a few sparking wires to keep them connected. Which continues to repeat the same meaningless words. The long deadlocked battle finally reaches its turning point. The crowd again erupts into cheers. A roar of anticipation, looking for the highlight of every match. That is, the moment when the victor completely destroys their opponent with its weapon. The human spectators, the twisted and mangled mechanical gladiators, nothing but a tool whose complete destruction keeps them entertained. And Veronica, despite her victory, simply stands motionless, refusing to do as expected. The crowd wastes no time lashing out against her. What are you standing there for? Finish it! Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing, you long-tailed freak? She feels an invisible pressure behind her and turns to face Overseer, who now stands silently in the darkness beyond the arena. Death itself passing judgment on the mechanical gladiator's fates. As with every previous match, this traitor that has turned its back on mechanoids to serve humanity appears exactly where it's supposed to be, monitoring and recording everything that's happening on the arena floor. She knows that Overseer is the one that operates the hydraulic press to execute the
defeated mechanical gladiators after every match. Cruelty that remains an indelible nightmare in her consciousness module. Commence execution, Veronica. Finally, she slowly raises her lance to aim its tip at the kinetic core. The heart, that is, or a fellow mechanoid. Get on with it! Skewer that worthless piece of junk! The red line of Mechanoid's eyes slowly fades. He continues to repeat the same fragments of broken speech. In those flickering optical sensors, there's no fear, no pleading. The Mechanoid operates only on a simple programmed belief: victory means effort, or victory means freedom. Die! With the audience's cheer, Veronica's lance cuts through the air with a resonant hum. Then its metallic impact kicks up a cloud of dust that immediately silences the bloodthirsty crowd. Visual feed distorts further as waves of agony search through her consciousness module. She collapses involuntarily to her knees, while her vital fluid drips steadily onto her frame or from her flame onto the floor. To her dimming vision, Veronica sees Overseer's weapon trained on her. The system no longer respond to her desperate attempts to mount one final counterattack. Target resistance escalated to critical level. Initiating termination protocol. Overseer raises its energy cannon and takes aim at Veronica. Just as the trigger is about to be pulled, a voice command with the highest authorization brings Overseer's execution protocol. Taking matters into your own hands isn't something I appreciate. You know full well whose property she is, don't you? But when that voice reaches audio receptors, Overseer freezes in place. This little incident today has convinced me she deserves a reward. Given how she's revealed her most authentic self on the stage exactly as I thought she would. Bump her up to the next round. You know what to do, don't you? Reaching the command, the human on the other end terminates the call. Yes, Master. You human lapdog. Overseer shows no reaction to Veronica's curse, now treating her as though she didn't exist. Having bumped up Veronica to the next match in its terminal system, as it's been instructed to, Overseer turns and walks back toward the still roaring arena. With Veronica's fading vision, the arena blazes the human crowd erupts into wild cheers, punctuated by the sharp grating sounds of twisting metal. It's the sound of a hydraulic press again, operated by Overseer, as it pounds a winch into scattered fragments of metal circuitry.
Yeah, don't stop. Keep going. Again. Smash that thing to bits. Yes. Crush it. Stop it. Bastard.
The world around her gradually fades to darkness as she realizes all her visual modules are shutting down one by one. The arena's clamor too gradually fades away. As everything begins to sink into thick darkness, she catches a voice she immediately recognizes.
Veronica? What are you doing here? Oh no, you alright? Hang on, I'll do something about this.
Appears to warm for human hands, but in the same moment, she loses herself completely to the darkness that engulfs her home. In the endless darkness, her consciousness dissolves into countless shattered data particles that are constantly churned and scattered within a boiling ocean of data. She can no longer feel her body or reach an exit. Doesn't know she'll remain trapped forever in this dark prison. She opens her eyes to find a pair of clean jade green eyes looking back at her.
Thank goodness. You.
Sarah, leaning over Veronica with eyes full of joy, finally straightens up with a long sigh of relief once she sees Veronica conscious.
You had me terrified. Took me such a long time to fix you that I thought we'd lost you. You know, I found you on the ground outside the arena severely damaged. Lucky I showed up when I did and brought you back here. But no worries, I didn't just fix you up. I also upgraded a bunch of your modules while I was at it. You're all set now. Yeah, I'm absolutely beat. I just want to lie down and do nothing now. Hey Hammer, grab me an energy drink, would ya? Thanks.
Sarah flops out of the rest pod and embedded into the wall, finally even bothering to remove her shoes. In one fluid motion, she grabs a drink from the mechanical arm of Hammer as it scurries over, downing it in one gulp. Recovered slightly, Sarah turns her hand toward Veronica, still smiling, apparently waiting for the mechanoid to break the silence with questions. Only now does Veronica finally have a chance to have a look at the space she's in. Brightly lit room, nothing like the gladiator maintenance area. Her personal belongings and repair tools scattered chaotically about.
This is my room. A bit messy, I know, but I call it organized chaos. I know exactly where everything is. Why would you do this? According to what you said, none of this counts towards your work hours. Huh? What a weird question. You can't just leave a friend in danger. You help friends whenever they need it. That's just basic common sense. Work hours ain't got nothing on a friend's life, no?
Sarah tilts her head slightly, eyes still twinkling with mischief, seemingly surprised that Veronica would even ask such a question. To her, this mechanoid, someone she barely knew before, has already been deemed a friend, worthy of her full support.
A friend? You didn't really think I was going to buy that, did you? I'm not what you would call a friend. Oops, sorry about that. My bad.
Sees a glance at Veronica, but leaves to find no trace of anger. She knows knows all too well that things wouldn't have ended well had she really gotten under Veronica's skin. Hammer no longer shows any signs of aggression towards Veronica in its programming logic. Its Mechano is now classified as someone its master approves of.
Good boy, Hammer.
After a moment of silence, Veronica finally extends her hand and gently places it on Hammer's head. Sarah can't help but smile at what she's seeing. She hops down from the stasis pod. Seeing this, Hammer quickly returns to its master's side. Peril still smudges Sarah's face and clothes, but she doesn't seem to care in the slightest, completely absorbed in her interaction with Hammer. She glances at Veronica every so often, trying to coax her into joining the game with her little buddy. Her smile radiates warmth as she treats Hammer not as some lifeless mechanoid, with the same genuine joy one would share with a dear friend. At the arena, Veronica's never seen a human brimming with such joy.
Hammer, don't touch my wounds. That really hurts.
Sarah's been happily playing with the little robots, suddenly winces in pain and stops. Veronica suddenly notices the vivid purple-red bruises marking Sarah's pale neck, a souvenir from their first violent encounter. Her hand, which Veronica had also injured, remains wrapped in thick layers of bandages. Sarah notices Veronica staring and quickly covers the marks, looking suddenly embarrassed.
Oh, it's nothing. Really. You're gonna heal in a few days. But wow, you're incredibly strong. You really caught me off guard back then. You don't need to act tough. Human bodies are pathetically fragile to begin with anyway.
The stung by Veronica said, Sarah can't deny the truth of those words, given her current situation. She merely responds with an awkward smile, offering no argument.
According to you humans, this is when I should say, I'm sorry. No?
So I never expected to get an apology from Veronica. While Veronica's face remains as stern as ever, her apology leaves Sarah genuinely stunned.
Come on, don't worry. I mean, anyone would have been angry had they been in your shoes. This place is awful to begin with. The way they treat mechanoids here is completely unfair. Anyone would be angry getting treated like that.
Sarah offers a reassuring smile, then walks to the workstation on the opposite side of the room.
Anyway, I should probably try to get work done. Don't worry, you're welcome to stay here and rest up for a while. I checked the system schedule. You don't have any matches today, so there won't be any problems. Relax. Overseer never comes here because it's a human staff break room.
Sarah removes the wing-shaped pendant from her neck and fiddles with it briefly. The unassuming trinket springs to life and projects its holographic blueprints of several mechanoid frames. She hunches over the cluttered workbench and carefully calibrates all sorts of component modules while cross-referencing the data from the holographic projection. Sarah remains completely absorbed in her task until she notices a shadow gradually looming across her work.
Huh?
They stare at each other in silence. Sarah has no idea when Veronica appeared or how long she's been standing there watching.
What's up?
Veronica doesn't answer. Instead, she leans forward, plants both hands on the workbench, and brings her face uncomfortably close to Sarah's.
What are you doing? Is there something on my face? What is that?
Veronica leans in even closer. Sarah suddenly realizes that Veronica isn't staring at her at all, but something behind her. Turns around to see a yellowed picture on the wall. A field of flowers bathed in sunset light with a small bird soaring across. It's the illustration she tore from a picture book back when she was a child. One of the few personal treasures she brought when she fled her home in a hurry.
Oh, this picture? Do you like it?
Sarah carefully removes the fragile paper-thin illustration from the wall and hands it to Veronica.
I've always loved flowers. It's a shame we don't have any here. And birds? We don't have those here either. Everything here is just metal, cold and lifeless. If only I were a bird, I'd fly away from this place and go wherever I want. Fly away. Huh. Yeah, I've heard there's a simulated sky dome at the top of where you can see the artificial stars at night. All the higher-ups can go there whenever they want to rest themselves up or whatever. I've never been allowed up there myself. I wish I could fly up there and see those stars for myself.
Sarah nods and reaches for another repair tool on the table, but the bandages wrapped around her hands cause her to fumble. The tool clatters to the floor. Before Sarah picks out a retriever, Veronica quickly picks up the tool.
So, what's next? Your job. What do you need to do next? I've been watching you. You take these modules here, follow this blueprint projection, assemble them in sequence. Is that correct? You work too slowly.
Before Sarah can even respond, Veronica takes the unfinished component module from her other hand, begins assembling it according to what she observed. The speed is truly remarkable.
Thanks.
Sarah gradually realizes she's nothing compared to Veronica. Quietly and quickly, Veronica completes the task, making it look effortless. Sarah sticks out her tongue playfully, then carefully slides the pendant projecting the virtual frame blueprint toward Veronica. Then she carefully studies Veronica's every move and passes what she thinks Veronica might need whenever she thinks Veronica needs it. While neither of them says anything, their movements grow increasingly synchronized and rhythmical.
Well, aren't you human? Why do you stay here instead of leaving? Well, my father borrowed a bunch of money from the Everett Consortium at high interest rates. When he couldn't pay it back, he had to work for them for free to settle his debt. Then he died. But they insisted that his debt couldn't be written off. It had to be paid off even after he died. So I took his place and continued paying off the debt here. Basically, I do free maintenance work on the mechanical gladiators to pay down what he'd owed. Anyway, the only two humans stuck in this miserable situation in the entire arena. Me and old man Rocco. But I call him Uncle Rocco. Everyone else is just your typical high-ranking human staff. They're not like me. Overseer doesn't mess with them. Basically, they're free. Don't you feel even the slightest bit of injustice? Being their lapdog every day, begging for scraps of their pity?
Before Sarah even knows it, the mountain of component modules that was still covering the workbench moments ago is completely taken care of, bringing an end to their silent cooperation. Veronica grabs the wing-shaped pendant that projects virtual blueprints and tosses it back to Sarah.
You should probably worry about yourself instead of wasting your cheap sympathy on mechanoids. If I were you, I wouldn't waste my time here waiting for some fantasized future to come. It's sad how you were pouring your heart out complaining about being a helpless prisoner here, while wasting your time waiting. I'm not gonna beg for sympathy. I'm gonna fight until I drop, until I break free from this cage. Stop drowning in your childish fantasies and waiting to fly away from this place. Come find me when you snap out of that.
With her, Veronica turns and walks away, leaving Sarah standing frozen in place. She stares blankly down the corridor where Veronica disappeared. Veronica's words were playing in her mind.
I'm alright. I never told anyone else how I want to fly away from this place. Lucky that I'm not alone. Well, guess I'll keep working on my little secret plan then. I'll definitely go and find you when I'm ready, Veronica.
Sarah whispers in a voice so soft only she can hear. Top level, the Master's Chamber. Past midnight beyond the massive floor-to-ceiling windows, the arena below lies deserted. The gladiatorial matches that unfold here every night have long since concluded. Here in this chamber, someone continued to revel in private celebration. Across the numerous monitors, various footage of Veronica plays on an endless loop. Shot in darkness, the human figure scrutinizes every detail of the footage again and again with unsettling fascination. In the footage, Veronica stands beneath harsh spotlights, her cold gaze sweeping across the audience that regards her with contempt. She brandishes her lance, fearlessly confronting enormous mechanical beasts one after another until they shatter into shards beneath her relentless assault. With a fire roar, she takes the full brunt of a devastating blow from another mechanoid in the cage and absorbs the impact with her own frame. She braces for her damaged frame against her lance, her crimson eyes blazing with fury. She glares at Overseer administering punishment upon her. The footage ends and freezes on the final frame. Tall Mechanoid standing with a lance in hand, exuding intense determination to fight. Damn, he's almost like a stalker. Dim glow from the monitors traces the figure of the human, illuminating only the smile playing across the lips. Figure reaches out, fingers tracing Veronica's frame on the screen with unsettling tenderness. They're trying to commit every contour of her form to memory. You are far better than I imagined, Veronica. I think I'm starting to grow fond of you. Damn, come on. How many more do I actually get to fight again? What gives? Mutated parts. Late into the night, another arena match comes to an end. The spectators stream out into droves. Crowd buzzes with excitement as people enthusiastically discuss the fierce battle they just witnessed, completely oblivious to the bird-shaped drone silently circling overhead. But the bird drone's cameras aren't focused on the people, systematically locking onto the exit corridors and the various mechanical ushers guided the human spectators. Dozen meters beneath the bustling spectacle, in the lower level of the arena, Sarah clutches her controller with nervous hands. She carefully pilots the mechanical bird drone. I hope the anti-detection chip actually works. God, please make sure everything goes well this time. She stares intensely at the tiny display of her controller. All she can see is static snow. A video feed, yeah. She carefully adjusts the dial on her controller until, finally, the static clears, creating a blurry image that gradually sharpens into focus. Whoa, it's working! I knew we'd get it right this time, Hammer. It worked! Under Sarah's guidance, the bird drone hovers and maneuvers, shipping real-time footage from various areas directly to the mini-screen in her hands. Let me see. There are 3 exit corridors for spectators leaving the arena. And they all come with identity verification systems. 5 cameras positioned at different angles, so there's virtually no blind spots. And several guide robots are permanently stationed in the area too. I can't get footage of what's beyond that point, but I'm guessing once you get through that corridor that should be the exit, there's no way they'd have surveillance cameras outside. Well, you'd think. I mean, maybe not if she's lucky. Sarah mutters to herself as she studies the footage, ignoring Uncle Rocco's incoming call on a personal terminal. When the call persists with no sign of stopping, she finally gives in and answers. Hey, Uncle Rocco, cut me some slack, will ya? No, you cut me some slack here. Where the hell did you run off to? The management system has already flagged you 3 times for overdue work hours. Holy moly, easy there. My ears are about gonna pop. I'm just testing. Look, I'm in the middle of something important, okay? We can talk about those work orders when I get back. Bye. One more thing. It's important. Did you take upon my work drone? You troublemaker. What in the world are you up to now? Well, hello? Hello? Hey, what was that? Sorry, I can't hear you. Look, connection's really bad on my end. Puts on the show responding while deliberately tapping a terminal to create fake static noises. It promptly ends the call. Alright, back to work. She pulls out an intricately designed chip from her toolbox, gestures for Hammer to come closer and assaults at the hammer. That should do it. If everything goes right, this will completely block the identity recognition signals at the exit. Hammer, I need you to leave through that exit we just saw. Go to the main entrance, then come straight back the same way. Don't do anything else and stay absolutely silent. Got it? Well, this disguise is the best I could manage. You should pass for a dog, more or less. Anyway, looks don't really matter. This anti-interference chip is the star of the day. With this, those mechanical guides won't be able to tell what you really are. So examines Hammer with its new pet dog disguise. Camouflage is obviously crude, but it's the best she could cobble together with her limited resources. The identity-blocking chips and disguise camouflage are precisely what Sarah's been secretly developing as her secret plan. Ah, okay. So this is probably why, right? Like, why she doesn't get the most advanced parts, even if she's supposed to be repairing these mechanoids for combat, right? Because then they could use it for stuff like this. She kept the secret tightly under wraps, not breathing a word of it to anyone, not even to Uncle Rocco. Sarah was uncertain where Uncle Rocco's loyalties lie. Instead of taking the risk of having her plan exposed, she decided to go through with it first on her own, like bring him up to speed on everything when she's ready to get out of here. This at the same time would help keep Uncle Rocco innocent if her plan ever falls apart. Yeah, that's true. Because in the end, I guess he is taking care of her in his own way, right? At least someone looking out for her. Well, supposedly. Again, we don't know. Under Sarah's command, Hammer embarks on an adventure with an uncertain path ahead. Due to Bird Drone's camera feed, Sarah watches Hammer move silently along. Spectators still absorbed in the aftermath of the match pay no attention to the little machine hugging the walls. Creeps closer to the identity scanner. When a cluster of spectators pass through the checkpoint, Hammer seizes the opportunity and successfully slips through behind them.
Yes! Breakthrough successful. Now you've just gotta...
Before she finishes what she has to say, several guide robots suddenly appear on her screen, surround Hammer and corner it.
No, please don't. Don't hurt it.
There's nothing she can do. Moments later, her screen shows only a scattered heap of parts, occasionally spitting sparks where Hammer once was. Her spectators pass by, completely oblivious to the scene. Several hours after her secret reconnaissance mission ended in failure, Sarah sits dejectedly in her room as she stares at the disassembled remains of Hammer. Quietly, she takes the tools Uncle Rocco's hands her from across the table and carefully tries to piece together the scattered components one by one. I'm not going to be able to cover your tracks if you pull a stunt like this again. It's been half the day arguing with Overseer until the big guy finally believed you were just running an experiment to test the sensitivity of the identification system. What kind of harebrained scheme were you thinking of? Did you really think you even had a chance of it? Forget it. And another thing. Would it kill you to give me a heads up before you take my stuff? Irritated, Uncle Rocco hosts a mechanical bird drone.
It's because I tried to reach you before I borrowed it, but I couldn't get through. I really love this thing, so...
Well, you can have it then. Today's your birthday, isn't it?
Thank you, Uncle Rocco.
Rocco hands the mechanical bird drone to Sarah and takes on a serious look. Why did Overseer dock all your work hours yesterday? You're bruised all over. What happened to you exactly? You're in trouble. You need to tell me. Don't shut me out like I'm some stranger.
It's nothing.
Sarah pretends nothing's wrong as she looks down fiddles with the mechanical bird drone, avoiding Rocco's gaze entirely. Kid, I can always tell when you're lying. The moment you can't look me in the eyes, the moment I know you're hiding something. Hide all you want, but I know what happened. I saw your overtime logs from that day. You were delayed at that whatever it's called. That place with the long-tailed mechanoid.
Her name is Veronica, not just some long-tailed mechanoid. She's my friend. It's really rude of you to talk about her like that.
The moment Sarah realizes she's given herself away, she knows it's too late to take back her words. Once Sarah starts talking, she finds it impossible to stop. One burst, she pours out all her heart.
I don't know why, but the moment I saw her, I just felt this connection with her. Part of it might be because she's this strong, cool big sister type. Whenever I see her, I can't help but admire her. But more importantly, I feel like she has this certain... how should I put it? I guess it's that courage to rebel. Whenever overseers show up, I'm too scared to even speak. All the other mechanoids fall in line too. But Veronica, she actually has the guts to stand up to it. That's incredible. Anyway, I guess she's got something that I don't. I'm nothing but a coward who's too afraid to do anything I want to do. But when I'm with her, I feel this strange sense of safety. I know this sounds a bit weird, but that's honestly how I feel.
Looking embarrassed, Sarah bows her head with a blush. Rocco stares at Sarah, looking as though he's looking at some weird creature he's having trouble making sense of. don't have a fever. Maybe it's only overtime then. Irritated, Sarah swats away the old man's hand as he tries to check her temperature.
You know what? You can talk to my hand from now on.
Look, I know times are tough, but could you please stop being such a child? Those metal things, these mechanoid gladiators, no matter how powerful they are in battle, or how well they can communicate with humans, they're not people, Sarah. They can't be your friends. Let's be real. They're just slightly more advanced versions of smart vehicles or household robots. How do you feel to see that when you work with them every day? Open one up and what do you find? Just parts and chips and whatnot. When they break, you fix them. When they're obsolete, you replace them. How is that anything like a human being? They might be friendly today, but after a module upgrade tomorrow, they could suddenly see you as an enemy. But you, kid, you go around treating them like people, spending all that time repairing and upgrading them, saying nonsense like I hope they can fight their way to freedom. Look, I'm being real here. If I were you, I'd do the bare minimum just to get by with those repair jobs the system assigns us. Kid, can you take care of yourself for once?
Come on, why are you always so negative? I'll say it again. They are my friends. At least I'm not like a certain boring old dude who spends his free time trading work hours for cigarettes and booze and stands out scrutinizing everyone else.
At that moment, Hammer, now fully prepared to come back to life, regains functionality. The robot's indicator light blinks a few times, signaling that it's now in normal operating mode.
See that? They're nothing like those emotionless machines you keep talking about. Alright, Hammer. Time to behave yourself. Go back to your charging station.
Forget all this nonsense. You know how many work hours you're behind already. The old man can't speak anymore. Clutches his chest and wheezes violently, face growing contorted with pain by the second.
No, hang on, Uncle Rocco. Let me give you your med.
Sarah rushes over to Rocco's bag to find the medicine bottle she's retrieved from him countless times before. There's nothing in it when she picks it up. Yeah, I figured. This time there would be nothing. Along with the empty medicine bottle, Rocco's terminal tumbles out. Red text showing his work dip is painfully glaring. The numbers so astronomical, it's clearly impossible to repay in one lifetime.
Uncle Rocco, what the hell have you been up to?
I didn't have enough work hours left to get more. Just give me some water. That'll do. Having drunk some water, Rocco starts feeling better. Sarah has never seen him as sad as he is now.
We gotta do something about this, Uncle Rocco. Let me use my work hours to get you some painkillers.
It's fine. I'm used to it. Even if it hurts, it won't hurt for long. Ain't got too much time left anyway. Huh. Sounds kinda nice if you think about it. I'll be free from being a slave in no time. This old bag of bones doesn't matter anymore. But you're still so young. Shouldn't waste your whole life here. Listen to me. Stop obsessing over those mechanoids. And don't give Overseer any excuse to dock your work hours. While you're still young, get out of here as soon as you can. And don't waste your work hours on this useless old man.
You were saying no Rocco could bear to continue the heartbreaking conversation, leaving the room suspended in a thick, suffocating silence. I don't understand. Why did he treat us like this? Those people in charge. Look at your condition, Uncle Rocco, and they're still trying to squeeze every last drop out of you? It's beyond cruel. When I was little, everyone said Everett's founder was a kind man who ran the organization with perfect order and gave to charities everywhere. Just when in the world did this place become a place like this?
There's a lot you don't understand, kid. This world, it was never meant to make sense to someone your age. I read the news. Everett's original founder died from a terminal illness many years ago. Nobody even knows who's really in charge now. Ah, I see. So it's like this could have been a side project of someone else who took their place. Could be some distant relative of the old founder, or maybe some butler or servant who wormed her way up. corporations big and small, this kind of crap isn't anything new. Wherever it is, there's scum. Letting that scumbag of a mechanoid run this hellhole. Obviously, he's cruel to humans and machines alike. We might be mechanics that do maintenance for those mechanoids, but in the end, how are we any different from them? Huh. If I still get rich back then, I'd be sitting in those stands like all the other spectators throwing around wads of cash on bets. Instead of rotting away like a criminal who's locked on the ground and counting my days down. I'm starting to understand why you want to make friends with those mechanoids. When you're trapped in a hopeless place like this, who wouldn't want someone to talk to? What's your friend's name again? Veronica, right? I saw her season stats. Bet she's quite the fighter. You talked about her so much. I'd like to meet her myself one day. Uncle Rocco. Forget it. I brought this upon myself. There's nothing I can do but surrender to whatever comes next. Alright, enough of that. Talking about these things only drives away your luck. Let's look at the bright side. Whoever's running this place now might one day decide to write off all our debts when they've made enough money, right? Hey, once I'm out, I'll be sure to make a fortune as a professional mechanic. Every mechanical company out there would be fighting to hire me. Within 2 years, I'd save enough for a house and a car, bring my wife and kids back home, make up for everything they've been through. And you? You could go to school, travel the world, make tons of new friends. Uncle Rocco slaps his knee with forced cheerfulness, his voice rising several pitches higher as though trying to chase away the invisible storm clouds hanging over his head. Seeing Uncle Rocco all cheered up now, Sarah can't help but smile softly as she imagines those days of freedom she's seen countless times in her dreams. Alright, she get some rest. Got plenty of work waiting for us tomorrow. As Uncle Rocco rises to his feet mid-sentence, a small, unremarkable object falls from his pocket. Something he fails to notice. Sarah quickly bends down to retrieve it for her. Where she gets a clear look at the object, her eyes widen in surprise. Uncle Rocco, you dropped something. Wait, isn't that the latest version of the storage component? I've been requesting one forever, but they never approved it. How did you... Rocco suddenly snatches it back from her hands, feeling a look of panic flash across his face. Oh, this is something I traded points for with one of the senior staff. Your old uncle's memory isn't what it used to be. I just used it to jot down a few things, you know? He quickly stuffs the object back into his pocket and turns to leave. Doesn't take his usual path towards his quarters. Is he trying his old escape? Uncle Rocco, wait! Where are you going? Isn't your room the other way? Oh, right. See, my memory obviously doesn't serve me anymore. Well then, good night. Get some rest. But before Uncle Rocco disappears around the corner, he casts a glance back at her. Filled with emotion Sarah's never seen in him before. Contentment, acceptance, trust, reluctance, even perhaps end of guilt. She only realizes that Rocco, who she used to find tall and strong, appears to have thinned and walks with a hunch. Oh my god, come on! Let me fight something! Stars in the soaring bird. Sarah should be sleeping, but instead she slips through the darkness and creeps silently down to the mechanoid maintenance area at the lowest level of the arena. She didn't even bring Hammer, her normally inseparable companion, with her. She came alone because she came to fulfill her promise to Veronica. Stop drowning in your childish fantasies and waiting to fly away from this place. Come find me when you snap out of that. Surprised, Veronica isn't powered down for the night. Apparently haven't been waiting for Sarah to arrive all along. You've come. I thought I'd be waiting much longer for you to show up. A promise is a promise, yeah? And I came because I know how to answer your question from the other day. I made preparations for it too. What preparations? We can't talk here.
Actually, I'd rather go somewhere else. Whenever I'm down here, all I can think about is work. My mind just goes blank. Looking puzzled, Veronica stares at Sarah, unsure why she's beating around the bush. Oh, why so serious? I'm just kidding around. Shall we go? You can head anywhere you want, but just for a little while. How about we go and check out the simulated sky dome I told you about? Sarah smiles, fingers in her pocket brushing against the item she created alongside the anti-interference chip. Veronica doesn't answer. Hanging silent makes Sarah feel awkward again and wonder if she's done something wrong. I mean, if you're not interested, then... Veronica stands up, grabs Sarah firmly by the wrist, and pulls her along without a word. Veronica moves with quick yet steady steps, keeping Sarah close to the walls as they proceed. In each corner, she cautiously looks up to check for security cameras. Their footsteps echo through the empty hallways until they come to a halt before the security door leading to the uppermost level. The security door to the sky dome looms before them, its red light glowing to indicate it's locked. Veronica, completely unconcerned, readies herself to take down the door with her razor-sharp claws, literally. Sarah quickly stops her. Wait, that's gonna cause a scene. She pulls out a touch panel, connects it to the security system, and lets her fingers fly away on the keyboard. The security system lets out a crisp electronic beep as the red lock indicator switches to green. Sarah flashes a smug smile at Veronica. Told you they ain't got nothing on me. Top level simulated sky dome. Extraordinary sight unfolds before them. This top level area, forbidden to ordinary spectators, simulated sky dome continuously cycles through day, night, and seasonal changes as it's been programmed to. At this moment, the dome displays a deep, dark night sky. It hangs overhead like a velvet curtain, studded with countless stars that shimmer like brilliant jewels. Sarah gazes up in excitement at the starry expanse, her eyes showing the twinkling lights. This is breathtaking. Meanwhile, Veronica quietly moves to the side and sits down and gazes up at the simulated starscape. Caesar left some space next to herself on purpose, a silent invitation for Sarah to join her. Sarah quietly sits down beside her, carefully avoids the long tail that Veronica is casually draped nearby. Faint yet gentle starlight from the simulated sky bathes everything in a subtle cool glow. Sarah can sense that something gentle is quietly beginning to bloom under the tough front Veronica has been putting up. Why did you take me here? What is it you couldn't say back there that you can say here? Well, I just want to spend a day with a friend because it's my birthday. The girl glances sideways at the mechanoid who keeps her gaze at the starry expanse without objecting to being called a friend. Birthday? A birthday is like a mechanoid's activation date. Veronica, do you remember your activation date? I do. It's meaningless, though. On my activation date, I woke up in the lowest level of this arena, and the rest is history.
Oh, so she's always been here. Okay. But again, it's like, how'd she even end up? Why is she made so differently from the other construct, or the other mechanoids?
Well, whether it's a birthday or an activation date, it should be special. And check out this little bird here. Today will be its activation date.
With it, Sarah retrieves a mechanical bird drone gift. A gift from her Uncle Rocco, from the toolbox at her feet, carefully wipes away the trace of oil from its shell. With delicate movements on the controller, Sarah guides the crude-looking mechanical bird as it slowly rises and hovers above their heads. The bird spreads its wings in flight, the silver white shell reflecting the simulated starlight, scattering tiny specks of light over both Sarah and Veronica. Veronica offers no response. Gaze shifts away from the vast simulated starscape, transfixed on the mechanical bird with its outstretched wings. The mechanical bird's metal wings may look crude, but they still lift the bird gracefully through the air. She looks quietly at the bird, lost in thought for who knows how long, until a sound she's never heard before breaks her reverie. The mechanical bird makes another weird noise.
It stopped. It stopped. Is it broken? Not at all. There's just the drone's shutter sound. So we have to take pictures of us. Geez, we're taking a photo. Haven't smiled for the camera. Are you always this serious? I don't think I've ever actually seen you smile. A photo. Yeah, here, check this out. Sarah extends the controller in her hand toward Veronica. The small display screen is a still image. The two sit side by side, bathed in a gentle glow to simulate starlight. Sarah's face beams with a radiant smile. The Mechanoid maintains her usual serious expression. Their gazes are fixed on the same point in the distance. I bet you look beautiful if you smiled. I'm not gonna do that. Sunny as cold as ever, Veronica, however, doesn't strike Sarah as mean anymore. In that fleeting moment, Sarah senses that something between them has quietly shifted. Under Sarah's control, the mechanical bird gently descends, comes to a rest on Veronica's hand. Veronica quietly holds the seemingly weightless mechanical bird while Sarah carefully examines the photo they just took on the tiny display screen. Hey Veronica, what do you think about changing the background of our photo to a field of flowers under sunset? Just like that painting on the wall in my room. I don't really care. The people in it will still look the same anyway. Instead of arguing, Sarah rises to her feet, spreads her arms wide under the canopy of simulated stars, and closes her eyes. Veronica, you ever imagine what it would be like to stand in a real field of flowers? While waiting for Veronica's answer, Sarah keeps going, so eager to pour out every thought swirling into the mind. I do. I dream about it every single night. I imagine lying in a meadow blooming with flowers and watching clouds drift across the sky without a care in the world until the sun slowly sinks below the horizon. The sunset warming your face must feel so gentle and soothing, don't you think? And I pick a handful of flowers to weave into a wreath on my head. I could do anything I wanted with no schedule to follow. I'd stay there as long as I pleased. No missions to rush through, and overseers are going to tell me what to do there. And then, I take another photo with you against that sunset, Veronica. A smile on your face, of course. Alright. Sarah eagerly returns to Veronica's side and sits a little closer to her than before. On a simulated sky dome above, stars sparkle brilliantly against the backdrop. Virtual shooting stars streaks across the display as though sealing the secret promise shared between them. I wonder what it would be like if you could grow wings just like this mechanical bird drone. Sarah holds up the mechanical bird drone, lost in thought. I'm not exactly built for flying. That's true. Let me try to imagine what you look like with wings. Sarah stares intently at Veronica, deep in thought. There! You look more like a dragon. Dragon? Yeah, when I was little I saw pictures of dragons in a storybook. The kind with wings and long tails. Your frame had a pair of wings on it, you look so cool. Just like a dragon. Here, let me show you what it looks like. At her waist, Sarah kneels down and, with a thin layer of dust on the ground as her canvas, starts drawing away with her finger. Oh! Is that why I couldn't pull off the full combos? It is, isn't it? Because, again, it's like, that's Veronica before she probably had her wings. So that's probably why I was so limited in what I can do, because her ultimate relies on her flying in the sky. But it hasn't happened yet. That's actually very clever. Because I was thinking for a second, it's like, I'm doing everything right, like what the tutorial told me, so why can't I pull it off? That would make sense. As her finger moves across the dust, a simple sketch takes shape before them, so it grows as details are added to it. First, from what she remembers, Sarah sketches a winged dragon with a long tail, and adds a drawing of Veronica beside it. There! This is what it looks like for now. Then we add a few more things to it. So, what do you think? Looks just like you, doesn't it? The sketch, Veronica has a pair of wings sprouting from her back. Though crude, the sketch in the dust captures something essential. A heroic figure that bears little resemblance to Veronica's usual demeanor. Her wings spread out, horns rising from her hair, and a long tail trailing behind, she truly resembles a dragon ready for battle. Lance in hand, she stands as a conquering warrior, to be stopped by nothing in her way. Lower level staff core.
Yeah, because now it's like I also realized that in the end of Han Ying's floating record, before Veronica left that city, you could see like someone that looked like Sarah standing next to her before Veronica had left. So again, like someone pretty important to Veronica. Very excited, Sarah hops toward her room, judging the secret promise they made. Despite the fact that it's almost done, not a trace of fatigue shows on her face. Comes happily to herself with a wing-shaped pendant dances lightly around her neck. Suddenly footsteps echo from the end of the corridor, making a start with alarm. Shouldn't be any human staff around at this hour. Before she could duck into a corner, a figure appears in her line of sight. Someone lets out a sigh of relief when she sees that it's Uncle Rocco. Whereas me, he shows a flash of surprise but will quickly mask it. Sarah finds it weird to see Rocco here at this time because work doesn't start for him for another few hours. Huh? Uncle Rocco, what are you doing here so early? Oh, ran out of medicine. Feeling awful. This cough is keeping me up all night, so I thought a walk might help. Hey, are you really alright? Wait, before I forget, here, it's for you. I traded some of my work hours for this medicine. Take it for now. I'll give you more later. I'm getting sleepy now, but I catch some rest before my shift starts. Give me a shout if I'm not up in time, alright? Alright. Sarah waves goodbye and skips away. Light footsteps fading down into the corridor. Ah, damn, what did Uncle Rocco do? He did something, didn't he? No one escapes. Ah, boy, great. What's gonna happen here? I'm not liking it if it's already starting to
急いでくれよ。今夜監視システムのメンテナンスがあるからそれまでに。
ああ、すいません。残るはいくつかの機械体のモジュールのバージョンアップですよ。
わかったわかった。ほら、権限を付与したぞ。じゃあお先に。そっちも早く帰れよ。
ようやく一人になれた。どれどれ、試合スケジュールシステムの入り口は見つけた。状態切り替え、入力確認。よし、これでベロニカのシステム状態がメンテナンス待ちに変わった。ベロニカ、特別な計画の下準備はもう完成してるよ。じゃあ通信はここまで。あんまり不適切な言葉が多すぎるとまずいからね。
うん、わかった。脆弱なゴミが、はあ、戦うに値しない。はあ、戦うに値しない。
I knew I wasn't wrong about you. You're really strong. If we end up fighting in the arena, it'll be a good match. Anyway, thanks. My fighting spirit again. I'll keep pushing myself from now on. Yeah, it's like the least I can do. Alright, let's see, what else am I supposed to be doing? Just go check with this card. Is he gonna try to keep me away from there again? Actually, now that I think about it, it's like we still haven't really seen where they actually make the mechanoids, right? Because again, it's like I'm still trying to figure out where the hell did they even get Veronica?
そろシステムメンテナンスの時間だ。今のうちに。
なんでまたシステムメンテナンスをやらなきゃいけないんだよ。こんな夜遅くまで残業。誰だ。
やばい、なんでまだ人が残ってるの。まずい、もう隠れる場所がない。このまま飛び降りるしか。話して。びっくりした。あなたか。
死にたいのか。
よし、今だ。監視システムはメンテナンス中だから気づかれないよ。
私から離れないで。
なんで私の権限が無効化してる。
試しても無駄だぞ。そんな小細工が通用するか。ターゲット発見。あいつらを捕らえろ。
指令確認。ターゲットロックオン。
身の程知らずめ。私の前を阻む者は皆死ぬだけだ。
ベロニカ、話して。ベロニカ。
Harsh red emergency lights bathe the entire area. The monotonous blare of alarms repeats at an endless urgent loop. Countless red targeting lasers from the security robots are trained on Veronica and Sarah. A false move and the heavily armed security robots were showered in both for a hail of bullets without mercy. As pale as it goes, Sarah struggles to maintain her composure nonetheless. Herself tightly against Veronica, in an attempt to shield her companion from harm. Standoff short-lived. Every footsteps approach accompanied by the grinding of metal against metal as Overseer draws near. Each footstep a death knell signaling their impending fate. Finally, the massive mechanoid emerges, the entire frame casting an overwhelming shadow that swallows both Sarah and Veronica whole. You can drop the act now, Mechanic Sarah. You performed admirably. Overseer's words leave both Sarah and Veronica stunned. Before Eva can react, the security robots swiftly move in to separate them. Ah, shit. Okay, I see what they're doing. Let me guess. Rauko tipped them off and was making it seem like Sarah wasn't actually helping Veronica escape, but more like luring her out to show defiance for Veronica. Confirmed Mechanoid Veronica has attempted desertion and acted upon this intent. Punishment will be administered per the protocol. Mechanic Sarah and Rauko have identified the security risk during maintenance and provided successful verification. Rewards will be distributed per the protocol. What? Says pupils contract in shock as she struggles to process what she just heard. But then a chilling, rage-filled growl cuts through the air. Sarah! No, wait! It's not what you think! Steris took us to break free from the security robot's grip, only to be intercepted by someone else. Rocco appears out of nowhere and roughly forces Sarah's head down. She leans in to whisper in her ear. Stay still, you don't want to die. Rocco then lifts his head and puts on an ingratiating smile for Overseer. Thank you. Thank you. So the one is still caught up in her role-playing, you see. Rocco clamps down one hand over Sarah's mouth while frantically fishing out the storage component she had seen earlier from his pocket and offering it to Overseer. To Overseer's network, a holographic projection stored in the storage component appears before everyone. Footage of Sarah and Veronica's previous interactions together. Seeing this, Sarah deflates completely. All of Rocco's strange behavior during their earlier conversations suddenly makes perfect sense. Oh, did he put it on the bird? Like, that's how? Because it couldn't have been like he put it on a... What's it called? Oh, wait, no, but he... Yeah, it had to be, right? Because it was a part he was going to put on the bird. But it's like, it was another... like, he had multiple of them. And that's also how he got it from when she took the picture. You knew all along. You were watching us the whole time? Oh, okay, no. Or maybe you just playing in the room. And then you just waited for the perfect moment to stab me in the back? Look, avoid Sarah's gaze. As his ways, his fingers tremble almost imperceptibly. I don't have much time left. My wife and child are still out there. Right, because that's the thing. It's like, it's less of him to live a leisurely life of luxury, but more so like, yeah, if he can at least see them one more time. So that's why you betray me? Rocco clamps his hand over her mouth again, stopping her from saying more. I swear she's never seen this man as emotionally conflicted in all their years together. Determination, ferocity, and unmistakable guilt. At least I kept you out of this. Liar! Never angry voice suddenly yanks Sarah out of her grief. Does her on her face the consuming rage of Veronica's eyes. So, you two are in this together. No, I'm not part of this. It's not like that. I swear it's not what you think it is. Quite a show you've been putting up there, treating mechanoids like friends. Always playing the victim, claiming you're trapped here, constantly oppressed. Spouting nonsense about being a prisoner here just like the mechanoids when you're a human. Utterly ridiculous. You've been waiting for this very day, haven't you? To you humans, mechanoids are nothing but tools to further your own agenda. I should have strangled you when I first saw you. Meeting Veronica's unbridled furies, there was nothing but tears and silence to offer. The fragile friendship now lies shattered. Now die! Veronica's lance slices through the air with deathly precision. Sarah makes no attempt to dodge Veronica's attack, simply closes her eyes awaiting what comes next, only to realize nothing's happened. There's only a heavy thud of something hitting the floor. Opens her eyes to find Veronica's face contorted in agony. Veronica collapses to her knees, a strained collar around her neck, discharging powerful electric currents. Excruciating pain, she can barely hold herself upright. Behind her stands Overseer. Initiating disciplinary protocol against rogue mechanoid Veronica. You human lapdog! Stop it! Without hesitation, Sarah throws herself at Veronica in an attempt to shield Veronica with her own body, Billy forgetting she could be shot dead while at it. Billy disregards that this same mechanoid was just trying to slash her down moments ago. All she wants is to rush forward and embrace her friend in this moment of crisis. The security robot's bullet tears through her calf with surgical precision. The wound isn't fatal, but instantly robs her of her ability to move. Sarah desperately reaches out, trying to close the distance between herself and Veronica, longing to touch her, to save her from this nightmare. Except there's nothing she can do. Overseer watches it unfold, his voice remaining as cold and emotionless as ever. Fugitive resistance escalating, intensifying disciplinary protocol. Overseer's massive mechanical hand clamps around Veronica's neck as it pumps increasingly powerful disruptive currents through her frame. Veronica eventually loses her will to fly under the overwhelming force. Her mechanical body goes limp and her arms fall to her sides as she collapses to the ground. The mechanoid lying on the ground will never again respond to her call. Human voice crackers through the surveillance system overhead. Belongs to a young girl. Soft as a feather, yet sharp as a blade.
I heard every word they said. What a captivating little drama that was. You two are such exemplary assets to the consortium. Truly deserving of recognition. Keeping them together would be foolish. See that they're accommodated separately. Bring the girl to me. As for that old man, he's all yours. Yes, Master. Overseer shoves Rocco, his face ashen with fear, into the midst of security robots like a discarded ragdoll. Multiple weapon barrels instantly lock onto him. Then with its gun barrel, Overseer motions for Sarah to walk ahead. Come with me to meet Master. Top level, the Master's Chamber. Sarah enters a place she's never been before, so dimly lit here that she can barely make out her surroundings. Still, she immediately senses something different about this place. Beneath her feet isn't the cold, hard metal floor she's used to, but soft plush carpet. After making the pervasive machine oil stench of the arena, this place smells like a subtle fragrance she's never smelled before. The most striking feature of the room is the enormous aquarium spanning an entire wall. Its water is emanating a faint ethereal glow. Sarah isn't interested in any of this right now. Her thoughts are fixed on this Master waiting for her somewhere ahead. Never she felt such terror and isolation. Not from the threat of death at the hands of this Master, but from not knowing where Veronica is right now. Horrific vision flashes unbidden to her mind. Veronica lying unconscious in the middle of the arena. Hydraulic press descending with a piercing screech and inching closer until her crushes her into scattered parts. She can't shake it off her mind. All she wants is to flee this room and rush to Veronica's side. Whatever fate might await them both. But Overseer's gun remains pressed against her back. It's nowhere to run. Master, here she is. Overseer shoves her forward, forcing her into a full view of its human master, right at the far end of the room. Respectful bow, Overseer suddenly withdraws beyond the doorway to stand guard. Sarah can barely keep herself upright with the gun wound in her calf. Going through the same pain, she struggles to push herself upright from the floor. This master remains shrouded in darkness. Casually reclining on an enormous bed, this person apparently has no intention of rising to greet her. Sarah catches the soft rhythmic beeping of some kind of device. Same direction, mysterious indicator lights pulse rhythmically. Relax. That little wound of yours isn't going to kill you. Let's skip the pleasantries. I already know your name, Sarah. A beautiful name, I gotta say. I run this place. You can call me Dolores. Take it easy. Say, fancy some girl talk? Only now does this girl who calls herself Dolores slowly strain herself on a massive bed, which comes with a soft wiring and mechanical joints. Dolores' face catches the dim glow from the aquarium. Sarah finally sees her face. One with delicate youthful features framed by raven black hair that only accentuates her unnaturally pallid skin. From beneath Dolores' dress, a web of strange tubes extends outward, carrying all sorts of colored fluids, pull slowly through their transparent lengths. All then connect to a bizarre machine whose indicator lights blink in an irregular rhythm. Sarah traces the tubes to their destination. She gasps in horror. It's directly through Dolores' delicate skin at various points across her body, effectively imprisoning Dolores to this massive bed. Please accept my apologies for not showing you a better version of myself. What the hell do you want from me? Didn't I already tell you to give you a reward for being such an excellent employee? Why would you trust those useless pieces of junk? You don't actually believe a mechanoid you barely know would unconditionally take your side just because you exchange a few words, do you? And you're still trying to speak up for her here when she just tried to kill you? How very sad. Only humans can truly understand one another's struggles, thoughts, and deepest desires. Don't you agree? I know exactly what you want. You want to be flying out there like a free little bird. A knowing smile in Dolores' eyes, the winged pendant hanging from Sarah's neck. Freedom. That's exactly what I want too. You see, our goals are perfectly aligned. I could make this room the most comfortable and luxurious in the world, but I'm sick of being stuck here. I want to walk. I want to run. I want to indulge in every pleasure life has to offer. Anything would be better than living like this.
Always seems to be growing more manic by the second.
So help me gain my freedom, and I'll grant you yours in return. You're going to complete my experimental project and repair my body.
Sarah stares at Dolores in shock. No matter how Sarah looks at her, she appears entirely human. She can't even see a mechanical prosthetic on her.
What do you mean? I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, because, like, doesn't she have access to, like, the top doctor if she's in charge of this place? Lois puts on a wordless smile. She turns her face away to gaze at the aquarium beside her as though admiring its artificial landscape. The acid tank contains no fish. The only inhabitants are a few oddly shaped hermit crabs slowly crawling about. One of the hermit crabs appears to be searching for a new home, persistently exploring all the shells of the tank floor with its claws. But she picks a shell that meets all its requirements. When she's done observing the hermit crab's performance, Dolores turns back to Sarah with a lingering smile.
The human body is far too fragile. Even the slightest injury or illness can break it. How very useless, no? Mechanoids, on the other hand, are powerful, beautiful, and capable of anything.
Terrifying realization dawns on Sarah, but the horror of it paralyzes her completely. She can't bring herself to vocalize her thought. Oh my god, don't tell me that the whatever mechanoid wins the whole arena championship, or like that she deems the best of the champions, she uses as her new vessel for freedom. Oh, that would be messed up. Lois, however, reads Sarah's thoughts from a terrified look on her face.
You're clever. What I want is a new mechanoid body. I want Veronica's. You're mad!
Lois breaks into a calm smile, looking as though she completely saw this reaction coming from Sarah.
Still trying to act tough, huh? There is no negotiating. Unless, of course, you want to end up like him.
For a gesture from Dolores, the door slides open, with metallic footsteps echo through the room, draw closer and closer. It isn't, however, Overseer, but an ordinary generic mechanoid that doesn't even appear to have any combat modules installed. It moves forward with slow yet steady steps and comes to a halt next to Dolores' bed.
Ready to serve you, Master. Who are you?
ID 18702, codename Rocco.
You're...
There's no mistaking who this mechanoid is, Dolores' voice. Oh my god. Don't tell me that's who all these mechanoids actually are. Is that also why there are like so few engineers here too? Rocco was desperately crawling through a pool of blood not too long ago, was now permanently imprisoned within this cold mechanoid shell, forever denied the freedom he so desperately craved. And the worst part of it, he doesn't even know what happened to him. No memory of who he once was.
Uncle Rocco!
The mechanoid, however, shows no reaction, standing motionless as it awaits further commands from its master, Dolores.
You may leave now.
Yes, Master. The mechanoid housing Rocco's consciousness turns around and exits the room with the same slow measured steps. The dark room falls into absolute silence, save for Sarah's tears dropping one by one to the floor. What she just witnessed has completely shattered the last bit of resistance in her mind. Dolores waits patiently for the young mechanic to give her the answer she wants. After a long silence, Sarah, desperate, finally gives her answer. Reaches out and clutches the silver letter opener gleaming on the table. Instead of pointing the letter opener at Dolores, however, Sarah points it at herself. Her hand trembles as she musters what little resolve she so has in her. Only in death can she find redemption and escape. She must destroy her knowledge and skills along with her life. She refuses to become a tool for evil.
Trying to stop yourself now? How very funny. Death is terrifying. Are you sure you're ready for that? When the blade pierces your flesh, the pain is excruciating. When your blood drains away, you're going to feel colder and colder. And when you die, You'll be lying in the pitch black earth while the worms slowly devour that pretty face of yours. Still think it's worth it?
Dolores laughed softly, Venom's gaze cold as ice.
Even if you die, I'll still be able to extract your entire consciousness and transfer it into any mechanoid shell I choose. All I need is your skills as a technician. Everything else about you, I'll just erase. Then you'll truly become a tool that does exactly as I say. So put that thing down now.
Says Dolores as she takes a load to open it from Sarah without so much as breaking a sweat.
Enough. Let's not waste any more time. We shouldn't keep Veronica waiting. Now, let's begin the feast, shall we?
Should I go for one more? Fuck it, I'll do one more. Alright, let me change my AirPod real quick. Cold white lights flicker to life one by one, revealing the immaculate interior of a massive laboratory. Every piece of equipment gleams with sterile brilliance. But still, I'm confused. Like, if she really owns that whole place, then it's like, why does she need her to do it when she could get like a better doctor or mechanic or whatever, or engineer, to transfer her consciousness? If they use a dormancy, the laboratory awakens for its first reboot. At last, its master can finally fulfill her long-cherished dream. That is, becoming an entirely new version of herself. From her perch above, Dolores surveys the laboratory like a creator deity. A satisfied smile plays across her lips. She's been far too long for this day. Soon she'll possess everything she craves for. Power, strength, beauty, the freedom to take whatever she desires. In the vessel meant to contain all this, Veronica, now floats unconscious, in the transparent chamber of the laboratory center. All the preliminary preparations are complete, but in the center, Veronica hangs motionless, gripped by countless wires and restraints like a prey caught in the spider's web, hopelessly waiting to be devoured.
Our feast is about to begin, and we're missing one last guest. Bring her in, won't you?
With it, the laboratory's massive door slides open quietly. Escorted by Overseer, Sarah enters in silence, face completely devoid of emotion.
Hey, why the long face when we're about to enjoy a celebration? Come on and wake your friend up now.
Laura smiles at Sarah, gesturing with a delicate flick of her finger. Sarah remains motionless, frozen in silent defiance. Seeing this, Overseer steps forward, and is radiating from every inch of its posture.
Do as you are told.
Sarah, however, remains completely unresponsive. Looks emotionless, so much so that one would be blamed for mistaking her for a statue. And when Overseer readies itself to force compliance to its authority protocols, its master puts on a lightly shining smile.
Now, let's take it easy and be mindful of Sarah's feelings here. Leave it to us, please.
Yes, Master. When Overseer leaves the two of them alone, the smile Dolores has been wearing vanishes.
I understand your resentment, Sarah, but ideals, they always come with a price. To stand again, to run once more, I'd pay my own price too. What about you? Do you still remember what it is you wanted to achieve?
Dolores turns around. Sarah, she gazes at the sealed chamber. Veronica floats suspended within.
It takes a lot to gain freedom of a bird. Humans weren't blessed with flight. If you truly want to grow wings, you always have to sacrifice something in return.
When Dolores finished speaking, the same unsettling smile and tone returned to her face.
Besides, a promise is a promise now.
Sarah turns her head, her eyes empty and lifeless, fixing her gaze on Dolores. Dolores, however, appears completely oblivious. Dolores, whose body is now connected to countless tubes, has a face as delicate and fragile as a porcelain doll. Her eyes burn with insatiable desire to devour everything.
Fine.
Receiving Sarah's confirmation, Dolores once again puts on the same deceptively gentle smile. Dolores raises her hand, the floor-to-ceiling glass before her turns into a one-way mirror.
I'm gonna have a nap now. You let me down, yeah? The laboratory system will take good care of you in my place. So be good, yes. Well, I'll see you as a new version of myself when I wake up then.
As his voice fades away behind a one-way mirror, leaving the laboratory in deathly silence. Sarah approaches the transparent chamber at the center of the laboratory. Inside, Veronica remains dormant, completely unconscious.
I'm sorry, Veronica.
Sarah's palm slides down across the transparent chamber wall as her eyes regain focus.
But it's okay. Leave this to me.
Still murmuring unintelligible words under her breath, Sarah reaches out for the elevator control panel. A touchscreen interface materializes on the control console. The fully automated terminal has already completed all preliminary preparations for the experiment. It streams the data and diagrams update in real time, displaying both Dolores' vital signs and its diagnostics on Veronica's frame. Going through with the procedure would completely wipe all consciousness data from the mechanoid, placing with the human consciousness data. It's exactly like what the hermit crab is doing that Sarah has seen, abandoning his worn-out shell for a new home. There's never been more focused than in this moment. Her eyes are across all the data points and metrics on the frame module, constantly comparing them with Veronica's specifications that she knows by heart. She understands every detail of the powerful precision-engineered mechanoid. Through countless maintenance routines and module upgrades, all specifications have been permanently committed to her memory. At this moment, she knows exactly what she must do. Throughout her life, giving up has never been part of her vocabulary. His deep breath begins working on the control panel. Just before the process begins, Sarah's fingers dance across the control panel with subtle precision and a punch of sequence of commands meant to bypass the laboratory system. Then quietly, she watches Veronica. The laboratory system methodically executes its detection protocols, as the streams of data ebb and flow like tides, shooting waves across an ocean of information. In the most secluded corner of this vast data ocean, Sarah's commands transform into binary code and dissolve seamlessly into the system, without raising any security alerts. The control flip that turns into ripples, the code gradually triggers powerful undercurrents deep within the system. Meanwhile, Veronica's core module begins to sense the first whisper of energy.
Wake up, Veronica.
The new perception system. Initiating module self-calibration. Initializing visual module. Veronica, having so far standing motionless in the center of the room, slowly opens her eyes. Crimson irises meet Sarah's emerald gaze. She recognizes who she's seeing. Those crimson eyes instantly start burning again with rage.
You liar! This is what you meant to do all along, isn't it?
Veronica roars with rage, thrashing wildly as she tries to smash through the layer of glass to attack Sarah on the other side. The restraint mechanisms hold her firmly in place.
Damn you! All you humans deserve a special place in hell. Every last one of you.
Warning. Abnormal energy patterns detected in the unit's power module. Warning. The unit's power module is experiencing sustained overload. Safety threshold limits breach imminent. Restraints mechanisms let out sharp cracking sounds as the connection cables snap one after another, sending twisted metal fragments scattering across the floor in an instant. Veronica bursts forward with full power. Just herself instantly at the isolation barrier, rams against the reinforced glass with such fury that reverberates with a thunderous crash. Meanwhile, Sarah stands perfectly still and gently places her hand against the transparent glass, as if trying to reach out to the Mikado on the other side. Veronica. You bastard! Liar! Veronica strikes the protective barrier again and again, frantically attacking the wall that stands between them, apparently channeling every ounce of her rage and hatred into each blow. No longer able to withstand Veronica's assault, the reinforced protective barrier starts giving in as spiderweb cracks are forming and spreading outward in all directions. That's it, Veronica. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. With a gentle smile, Sarah presses her forehead against the nearly shattered barrier as tears stream down her face, leaving icy trails across her skin. Because she wants to be closer to her friend, just a little bit closer. No justifications, no pleading, not even a farewell. Simply repeats what she wishes she could tell Veronica over and over in her heart. At this moment, she needs no words to make herself understood. That's it. The command sequence I used to bypass the laboratory system has taken effect, push Veronica's frame to its theoretical power threshold. She's now powerful enough to break free from all this, to shatter the prison that's confined her for so long. So trample over my body you must, Veronica. This is my atonement. Leave this place. Go out into the vast world beyond, and walk freely. As the protective barrier shatters completely, Sarah gently closes her eyes. Goodbye, Veronica.
This is さっきのラボではないのか。そこにいるのは誰だ。
哀れね、ベロニカ。あなた、彼女に騙されたの。
お前は誰だ。
私が助けてあげる。あなたをここから連れ出すわ。そんなにかからないからリラックスして。
ここはさっきのラボではないのか。先ほど私の意識は変異していたのか。
コントロール状態を離脱。目標の脱出を阻止する。
お前らごときが私を止めるつもりか。消えろ。戦うに値しない。戦うには脆弱なゴミが。消えろ、脆弱なゴミが。 戦うに値しない。えい、脆弱なゴミが消えろ。はっ、脆弱なゴミがえい、脆弱なゴミがえいえい、はっ、消えろ。戦うにあた脆弱なゴミが面倒な数の多すぎる。
痩せ我慢は体に毒よ。私に任せて、ここから連れ出してあげるから。
安い小細工はやめろ。まずい、機体の調子が。
ベロニカ、私だよ、助けに来たの。ベロニカ、私だよ、助けに来たの。ベロニカ、私だよ、助けに来たの。
黙れ、私の意識から出ていけ。脆弱なゴミが戦うに値しない。ここさえ突破できれば私は。
目を覚まして、ベロニカ。
ここはさっきのラボではないのか。
It would seem like an endless cycle of dark reincarnation. Veronica's consciousness appears to be drawn to a shadowy void. She feels as though she's walking through an endless dark corridor, where each door she pushes open only reveals another identical hallway stretching before her. Darkness, never but an endless, infinite darkness.
Wake up, Veronica. Before she recognizes, calls out from beyond the door ahead. Come here, Veronica.
She steps forward and pushes the door open. Before is nothing but harsh white light flooding a chaotic laboratory. It takes Veronica's visual module several seconds to adjust to the intense brightness. Once her visual module is normalized, she spots a shocking splash of crimson amidst the stark whiteness. Like scattered glass shards and twisted metal lies Sarah, body completely drenched in blood. What little strength she has left, Veronica holds open the laboratory security door. The shattered access panel nearby is smeared with thick viscous blood. One could fathom what incredible willpower drove her to forcibly break through the sealed security system.
Warning. Abnormal status detected in Sector. The subject no longer under control. Support units advance to Sector D on the top floor and assemble.
In an instant, the cold white light turns to pulsing red alarms, beaming everything in a harsh crimson. Countless automated support units instantly respond to the terminal system's command, to block the only escape route for the lab.
Eliminating breaching subject.
Executing suppressive fire. Warfare storm bullets and muzzle flashes instantly floods the confined space. Crimson blooms erupt across Sarah's body as the pool of blood under her grows larger by the second. Despite everything, she channels her remaining strength and every ounce of her being to maintain her position to keep the laboratory door access system open. Here's a look at Veronica. Despite her grievous wounds, Sarah shows no sign of pain. She forces a smile. It stings her lips, yet her smile remains as pure and innocent as ever.
Once you're out, turn left. Then, to the hallway in Sector F. I've already taken care of the security doors there. Don't trust that Dolores. Hey, Veronica, do I look ridiculous like this? for me? Never around the support units tears through Sarah's chest. Bullet pierces Sarah's fragile body at top speed and lets out a shriek before it finally hits the wall with devastating force and comes to a stop. After strengthened the will by the ammunition, Sarah, having endured the assault for far too long, falls to the floor. Before Sarah's body hits the floor, however, her fall stops. She feels weightless, like a fledgling bird spreading its wings for the first time. It soars into the boundless freedom of the sky. The sky above feels vast and empty. It's being enveloped by gentle clouds. She feels every last bit of pain and fear leaving her body. The only thing that's left is the bone deep coldness when all her other sensations have faded away. Why is the sun in the sky so utterly cold? Frankly, unable to process anything in her mind anymore, Sarah is unable to answer this question. It's so cold. Sarah's acid body. Yeah, her lifeless body lies limply in Veronica's arms. Once vibrant emerald eyes, having lost their focus, they're not at Veronica, but to the empty nothingness. The voice fades to barely a whisper, thus producing meaningless, fragmented words. So cold. Veronica leans down, she holds Sarah tightly against her chest, as though trying to hold on to a life that's quickly slipping away. For the first time, Veronica truly comprehends how fragile a human body is. Like a piece of paper that can tear apart at any moment. In her arms, Sarah no longer feels as warm as Veronica remembers her when she carried out maintenance on her. For the first time, she feels the beating of the human heart. Beats at a rhythm entirely different from the energy core powering a mechanoid shell. But now that heartbeat is gradually coming to a stop. Hold me tight. Her eyes close peacefully, Sarah gets no response, because her fatigue has gotten the better of her. Mechanoid rises slowly to her feet, carrying her friend's body securely in one arm. I'll take it from here. I will get you out of here. As a barrage of ammunition for the support units, Veronica appears completely fearless. She cradles Sarah's body with one arm while aiming her lance forward with the other. I'm going to crush every last one of you standing in my way. The support units open fire with crushing intensity, attempting to halt Veronica's advance. The storm of bullets doesn't seem to set her back even one single step. Trying to fight her way through, she wields her lance, ignoring the mounting damage to her frame. She thrusts and cuts with relentless fury. The fiery downpour of countless bullets intensifies, threatening to blanket her field of vision. I'm not going to let you people. Excruciating pain surges through every corner of her consciousness module once more. It's a current of cold darkness that she seems to recognize slowly draws across her vision. I kind of want to continue this, but I think this is a good place to stop for now. Okay, wow, I'm already like halfway through. Good. Damn, okay. Yeah, kind of interesting. So, Veronica has always been here, but again, I am kind of wondering why she is this very unique mechanoid in this situation to all the other ones that are here, you know? I wonder if we'll actually get that explained, because I feel like we kind of do deserve that. Because again, it's like we haven't really seen any like true human mechanoid. I mean, there was Winch, and probably the others that Sarah worked on before, but aside from that, it's like there really hasn't been anyone else like her. So it's like, what makes her so special? Or did she actually come from somewhere else and she just ended up here? And we still haven't seen her get the wings yet, so I wonder when that would actually happen. Like, does it actually happen here in this area? I mean, probably not, because Sarah, the only person who could have probably done something like that, is gone, but maybe she did it when she had escaped and maybe met the Church of Machina? I don't know. I'll be interested to see how this continues on, but it's pretty good. It definitely like grabbed my heart a bit when Sarah passed, and even that betrayal as well. It's like it didn't really hurt me that like, oh, Veronica betrayed us, because he was acting shifty. He was acting shifty, but it was more so just like seeing how Sarah felt when it made it look like she had betrayed Veronica when she didn't, you know? But still feeling that she still wanted to save her and everything. That definitely touched my heart. But yeah, very interesting situation that they have here at the consortium. But I also kind of wonder, is like, are we ever going to get it explained, like, why Dolores even acted like that, why she was even in charge of this place to begin with as well? I mean, I assume probably later it will be, because she's still alive. It's not like she's gone or anything like that, but
Again, I'm hoping that it's like some of these parts will be explained. Again, I know they don't have to answer like every single question, but it's like some of these bigger parts that kind of do involve all these other characters, like that kind of does have to be solved. Like tiny little details, sure, they don't really. But stuff that it's like this whole floating wreck is supposed to be centered around, it definitely should. Before we end the stream, I actually want to do another battle, just because we barely did anything. So, let me see. What can we do? I guess we can do the challenges for this, so... What was it? Not this one. Yeah, Echo and Solitude. I can do the challenge stage. Oh yeah, I actually did notice. Why is this a boss challenge? Because you're fighting basically Watanabe Epitaph, right? But when would this even have occurred, right? It's like, I'm so confused. It's like, are you telling me that either Discord or Veronica ends up facing Watanabe Epitaph? It's like, which one would it be? I wouldn't imagine Veronica would. So maybe this is Discord? I don't know. It's like, I'm honestly kind of curious how that would even work. That's why it's like I'm saving this for now, because if we find it out later in Veronica's floating record, then great. If it's gonna be like most likely in Discord, I'd probably just do the boss challenge first and then do her thing later. At least if that's how it's going to be. But yeah, let's actually do some of the challenge stages. Okay, so let's see what happens. Okay, yeah, so we do get the test one as normal. So let me put my normal physical team here. And as for if I know where the right positioning is for the colors for them, I don't. I'm just taking a guess. I'm not sure again. Yeah, we'll start with like this for now, and then I'll change it.
手話はここまで。ライトモチーフを奏でましょう。共鳴がするね。ピッチがずれました。私のまだまだですね。羽ばたく鳥と名乗れるか。グラーベフォルティッシモ。
戦うに値しない脆弱なゴミが。戦うに値し、これでお前らの罪を終わらせる。全力を見せていだらけだ。殺し合いは潰される覚悟はできているだろうな。脆弱なゴミが。罪を終わらせる。隙だらけだ。全てを全力を見せてみろ。潰される覚悟はできているだろうな。戦うに値しない。戦うには殺し合いは痛快だな。これでお前らの罪を終わらせる。全力を見せてみる。裁きを受けろ。潰される覚悟はできているだろうな。殺し合いは痛快だな。脆弱なゴミが。今日これでお前らの罪を終わらせる。全て終わらせる。裁きを受けろ。潰される覚悟はできているだろうな。殺し合いは痛快だな。これでお前らの罪を終わらせる。隙だらけだ。全力を見せて全て終わらせる。裁きを受けろ。潰される覚悟はできているだろうな。脆弱なゴミが。消えろ。脆弱なゴミが。これでお前らの罪を終わらせる。隙だらけだ。全力を見せてみろ。命乞いに意味はない。この戦いは終わりだ。
Okay, I'll admit, I definitely could have done better. Yeah, clearing 180 seconds. I just really wanted to try actually using Veronica, and not so much just like the team. You know what, I'll see what happens if I actually use my whole team. I'll probably do a lot better then. Clear, yeah, because I was a bit over 30 for 3 minutes. Let's see if I can do better this time.
プレリュードを捧げましょう。と朝日に捧げます。共鳴のスルメ。 浅瀬に捧げます。あなたにプレリュードを捧げましょう。超えた浅瀬に立つ共鳴のスルメ。天地欲しく共鳴のスルメ。オーバーチュアはここまで。ライトモチーフを奏でましょう。即興に出てみる。グランディオピッチがずれました。私もまだまだ共鳴のスルメ。終幕のカーテンコール。
戦うには岩手分解だな。消えろ。これでお前らの罪を負わせる。この試合は強いだな。えいえい落ちろ。隙だらけだ。潰される覚悟はできているだろうな。
剣の調べは連綿か。四面楚歌眉の金箔。乱流と解く轟音に散れ。武装しなくちゃ。残響に乗せて全て滅びなさい。共鳴のスルメ。ピッチがずれました。
がっかりさせるなよ。
この音色たちが心地よいスコアを織りなすのです。
Yeah, the team definitely feels fluid, but again, I just really have to get better at understanding how to use Veronica. Alright, let's try this again one more time. I think we'll be good.
あなたにプレリュードを捧げましょう。共鳴のスルメ。えい、ここで星屑。
がっかりさせるなよ。
往生際の悪い私の番だ。
共鳴のスルメ。グランディオーソ。ここで星屑。共鳴のスルメ。終幕のカーテンコール。ピッチがずれました。私もまだ共鳴のオーバーチュアはここまで。ライトモチーフを奏でましょう。即興の共鳴のスルメ。グラーベフォルティッシモ。
消えろ。脆弱なゴミが。これでお前らの罪を終わらせる。全て終わらせる。全力を見せてみろ。
グレースノートを添えましょう。
潰される覚悟はできているだろうな。えい、脆弱なゴミが。えい、戦うに値しない。これでお前らの罪を終わらせる。隙だらけだ。潰される覚悟はできているだろうな。消えろ。殺し合いは痛快だな。戦うに値しない。消えろ。脆弱なゴミが。これでお前らの罪を終わらせる。はっはっ。
手強い。
グレースノートを添えましょう。
潰される覚悟はできているだろうな。消えろ。はっ。脆弱なゴミが。これでお前らの罪を終わらせる。隙だらけだ。裁きを受けろ。潰される覚悟はできているだろうな。消えろ。脆弱なゴミが。消えろ。戦うに値しない。これでお前らの罪を終わらせる。はっ。隙だらけだ。
グレースノートを採用しよ
潰される覚悟はできているだろうな。命乞いに意味はない。この戦いは
There we go.
終わりだ。
Finally. Whew. I was finally able to make it successful with the last one. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna get Veronica for this guy. Like, come on. It's really good. Now I'm just missing the last of the tutorial stage, but I already know it's for ignition, so I think we are good. You just had to do the effect stage, but that don't really matter to me. Alright, so yeah, good place to end the stream for tonight. Again, it's an interesting, what's it called? Shit. Interesting floating record. I mean, I'm not saying it's like the pacing, but again, I just feel like there needs to be a bit more substance here. But again, like I said, they could like probably fulfill that in like the latter half of this, because I am only slightly a bit above halfway, so there probably is more in store here. Considering I'm only 58% done with this, so there probably could be something that like really reels me in more. Because I mean, to be fair, at least when comparing it right now, I definitely feel like, for example, Bridget's is definitely miles ahead of it currently. Genevieve's I think was also pretty interesting compared to that one. Noctis's, I mean, it was a cool one. Like, it wasn't necessarily too much for story-wise because we didn't see too much of like the relationship between Noctis and Triller. No, not Triller. There, what was it? The Generalissimo. If we had seen at least a bit more of that one in that, then I definitely would have given it a whole lot more credit than it should have. I'd say it's at least better than the first Han Ying ones, just because again, not too out of character or out of like the understanding of the world of punishing and such. Whatever Sword better than Sword Beyond. Now I'd still say Sword Beyond was better because again, it's like it was dealing with like only some of like flaws that Han Ying kind of has when it comes to being a member of the Church of Machina and like how she envisions herself as her ideal person. So it definitely comes out more as Veronica, but like I said, there's still a whole lot more, so I'm not gonna give that as like my final say in it yet. I still hope for it to like really pop off. And like I said, I will still do the other floating records in time because I don't really have that many left. I just have to do Crescent Sun, Woven Prologue, and those will be the main ones that it's like I focus on. Like I said, the one for Left Unsaid and Reveries with a Whale, it's like I'll do that whenever I feel like it because again, it's like I don't really feel like it holds as much weight or significance. And as for whether I do like any of these like Arcade Anima, or General Promise or something, or even event records, it's like I have to figure that out. I don't know if they'll be that significant. I will probably try to do an interlude stream at some point as well before the end of the year, just because again, there's a lot that I'd like to see what they do with it. Like the Deliverance Period one, I'd love to do. Like to finish the Watanabe ones. I have to go to the Bianca Zero one as well to actually learn like the specifics on the event that occurred here with Bianca and the father. And let's see, because again, it's like Veritas was pretty underwhelming. I'd like to see what they do maybe with Chrome Arclight. That'd be good. Oh yeah, Vera's. Both of Vera's actually. I think that I'd probably prioritize those really. Laurel Luna, I'd like to see because again, it's like maybe this will tell us what happened after the experiments with Kurano and how she ended up becoming like an Ascendant and how she ended up forming her own little group with like Alpha and them. And yeah, we'll see how it goes from there. But anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy the stream for tonight. Like I said, tomorrow I will, or I guess later today, I will continue with East 9 Monster Nox. I think I've done a good amount of grinding that I should for the chapter, so I think we should be ready for like mats and all. At least for the time being anyway, because again, there's still one more main chapter after that than the epilogue, I think. So we should be getting closer to the end of that. And like I said, I will try to figure out what I put for Sundays. It probably will be Digimon Time Stranger, because like I said, most likely I'll probably do Trails in the Sky first chapter for Saturdays, then Digimon for Sundays, then I'll figure out what to do with the rest. So I probably will put Sonic as like I'll do Sonic Racing occasionally, at least once a week. I'll see if maybe I can do it at least twice a week at times, because again, it's like I really want to do like a whole racing series and like try my best to be like at the top, you know? I mean, I'm not a crazy amazing racer or anything like that, like I really am not, but you know, I gotta see how I stack up against the competition. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy the stream by now, already found the channel, please make sure to leave a follow. Much appreciated. Check out my YouTube channel, I post a lot of VODs. Subscribe there as well. Join Discord, you guys already. Links to all those are on the channel. But this has been Santos Advice. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. See you guys next time. We're out.
マーレイがケルベロス隊のリーダーになると聞いた時は心配でした。隊員をまとめられるのかって。でも杞憂でした。彼は成長しています。けれど僕はレイブン隊がいいです。だってあなたは会議室でブレイクダンスをしませんよね。